Are you recording?
Yes.
Stop it. Okay, fine. Yo, thank you, podcast. Cortez's sneaker review. I got my sister here and my dad hanging out with me, and my mom's recording, and also.
Okay. Obviously, sneaker podcast.
I already said it.
Okay, I know, but we're doing Cortez sneaker review again. Since this is probably the last week in the closet, I wanted to give an opportunity to kind of show some of the sneakers I bought. Say hi, Cruzy.
Hi.
Say your name.
Cruzy.
You having fun?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta say it louder.
Hi.
Okay. Have you guys been having fun?
Yeah. Hanging out, playing with my Blades, and ordering stuff like we normally do. Blackly. Black. Okay. Plain black. Okay, so we're gonna start off with the first shoe.
Wait. Have you guys had any favorite movies you guys watched lately?
Zombies.
Okay, you really like that?
Yeah.
Okay. You gotta talk in the mic.
Okay.
Alright, and what else? That's it?
Mm-hmm.
What other movies have you
Little
liked?
Rascals.
Oh, Little Rascals. You didn't think you'd like that, but it was really good, wasn't it?
Uh-huh. And also, I'm gonna tell them that movie that I hated.
What movie did you hate?
Monsters Family.
Oh, but you asked me to watch that again.
Huh?
You asked me to watch that again.
No.
You have to talk a little louder, man.
Okay.
Alright, Cruzy, what's your favorite movie you watched? Don't touch it, just talk.
Frozen.
Frozen?
I thought you said it was
Moana. It's not Moana? Huh? You like doing Daddy's podcast?
Mm-hmm.
You have to talk in the mic.
I love Daddy's podcast.
Okay, I don't know if it's good. Alright. Alright. So, Cortez, you want to give me some sneakers to look at?
Yeah.
Can I hold it?
Okay. Cruzy, you can. Oh la la. Ooh,
Alright. So, these are... First of all, do you like them?
Yes, I like the navy green.
I love purple.
In the mic?
I love purple.
And
Purple.
also I like how it shows a little bit with the shoe, like the green, and also I really like the purple. It looks like a mixed blue purple, like a dark purple and a dark blue. That actually makes the shoe like kind of nice. And the black is kind of a popular color. So the black is kind of like a popular color. It like kind of makes the shoe nice.
Okay. Alright, these are Adidas Lexicons, I believe they're called.
Baby.
Okay. And I got these for really cheap. So I've always liked them. I like the OG model. This is a classic model. So got them from Kids for a really good price. So I didn't want to pass on them.
I
It's
like
a good
her.
shoe. Not sure when I'll actually wear it or not. But I felt like for the price it was good enough to buy. So I bought it. Alright, Cortez, what's next?
Yeah, just put this in the box first. Okay.
Just put it down there. Don't hit the camera.
Could you just drop it? Just drop
Put
it.
it down.
Okay. Now we're gonna do the next shoes because with my pockets and get this on my face. Okay. The next shoe is white Kyrie's. These look like Kyrie's.
Here.
These shoes look like Kyrie's.
These aren't Kyrie's. These are Adidas shell toes. Alright? These
Shell.
are Recon Adidas shell toes. These are premium ones. Got these for really cheap. I had to tell all the homies to go buy these because shell toes are typically around like $89 to $100, but these were $30 shipped. Premium leather. And the best part I love about these are that they're kind of like pre-yellowed, like vintage. Because one thing with shell toes is after a while they start to like turn yellow and stuff. But since it's already pre-yellowed and vintage, it's already done that for me. It's got a leather insole, which is always super nice. And I love the little difference between what are you doing? I love a little difference of the sizes. Okay, you can't touch that. The differences of the sizes on the tongue. Cortez, you like these?
Yeah, these are really nice shoes. I like the squiggles because it's like nice and smooth and like zigzaggy. And I really like the laces, how like they're strapped together. And I like how this like thing like goes like right through it.
Shell toe.
Yeah, shell toe. Yeah, shell toe. Oh my gosh, guys! Why do you keep talking to me? Okay. I like the white too. Like, I like the bright white and the dark white. It like makes it like a actual shell. Wait, can I hear the ocean?
Okay, not a shell. It's a shell. Okay. That was actually kind of funny. All right, let's put these ones down. Let's get another pair.
Can I hold it? I want to hold the box.
Cruzy, it doesn't matter if you hold the box.
Okay, so the next shoe is. Ooh, you can have that.
Okay, just leave it in the box.
Okay. There we go, Susie. Oh. Okay.
Cruzy, you like these? No?
I don't like green.
You don't like green?
I like pink.
Hey,
You want pink?
the,
Okay, I may actually have something that you might like then. But hold on, okay?
the laces are not in
The laces are on the shoe. These are... I can't remember what this one was called. Cortez, why don't you chill out? I can't remember what these ones are called, but it was another one for really cheap. I mean, these typically old school... Okay, no. Typically old schools go for like $80, but these are only like $30 shipped.
Daddy, I just
Shipped from overseas.
Daddy, when you just said old school, I'm like,
I don't have
I'm like
a lot
these
of
are
olive
old
green
school.
sneakers because I think olive green on sneakers is kind of awful. I prefer to buy olive green pants and shirts to go with sneakers to match better, but the materials on this is all suede. It's flawless. They smell good. I can't wait to wear these. A summer sneaker, the right length short. I can't wait to wear these. Cortez, you like them?
Yeah, it looks really dope. I like the green because it's like nature green. And I really like around like it's a darker green. Like it's like a grayish greenish. So I really like the bottom. Wait, I already seen this bottom before. Okay, so I really just like the shoe pad. And also I just like the shoe.
You like it?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me the next one.
So far I like a lot.
What does hold it mean, Cruzy?
The next shoe.
You don't
Oh!
hold the box.
This shoe is slack.
It's
Wait.
what?
Wait a second. I think we've seen this shoe already.
Yes, it was in the living room for a while. Here you go, Cruzy. You like this, Cruzy? Talk to the mic.
But I'm not dating brand
You
new.
like it?
Okay.
These are New Balance. This is a brand new model from New Balance. It's the 327. I love this model a lot. I feel like if you love the Sakai waffle, you have to love this model. This model is, I've tried them on already, haven't worn them yet. Tried them on. I think they fit well. I like the way they look on feet. There's other colors that I probably wanted before. Excuse me, that I would have wanted before these, but I like the blue and I like the orange. I think they look good, and I like the yellow. Kind of offsets it. Cortez, you like these?
Yeah. And also, I really like the orange. And also, guys, I can make it change colors. Close your eyes. Abracadabra. Make it turn blue. Ta-da! I'm just kidding. And I really like the yellow. And also, I like how it goes up.
I like that too. That's one of my favorite parts.
To the heel. Like when you run on it, like when you walk like this, like it's kind of easy.
One of the best parts about that is like when you go downstairs and go down stuff, it protects the back of your shoe. So that rubber extending up to the top.
You must fall down.
The shoe is really dope. I like the red on this side and like the orange. I said red. So like the red and blue are right next to each other. I like that. And also I like the Norton. What is it called? Like the shoe?
New Balance.
New Balance. I like the New Balance sign right here. And I really like the yellow. That goes right next to the blue. This is a really dope shoe.
Okay. Alright. Give me another box.
I want to use this box. Oh, this box is heavy.
You okay, Cruzy?
Okay.
Cruzy, you okay?
I think this is the same shoe.
It is, but this is the blue one. Like I said, if you don't have a pair of these for the summer and you like Vans, oh man, you got it. I can't talk to you, man. This is so far one of my favorite shoes that's been out since 2020. I mean, it's a simple paisley, but them adding the California with the sunset and the palm trees and the ocean makes me miss the beach. You know, we usually take a family trip to the beach once a year, but I love this. This is a must-have, so I had to get You know, and it was a great price. So definitely had to get these. Quartet Cruz, you like these?
Mhm.
You gotta talk in the mic.
I like these.
Why do you like them?
it?
Because I like the blue on pink.
There's no pink.
Right there.
That's red. Okay.
Okay, I like the shoe because it has a shows California and a little island, and I really like the blue and has those drip drops on it or whatever.
Drip drop. Oh, Paisley. It's Paisley print.
Okay, Paisley print, and also I just really like it. Whoever made the designs, it's just really dope. And
Cool.
okay,
Not that one. Let's put that one. Push that one over. The blue one. Yeah, not that box.
there's a shoe in there.
Yeah, no, but not that box.
Okay, what do you want
Just
me?
push it on the ground. Okay.
It's just pink.
Okay, so I want you.
It's just pink.
I'm gonna do this one.
I wanna hold it. I wanna hold it.
Okay.
Hold it.
The next shoe is. Oh!
Oh, it's Pink Cruz.
Oh, I really don't. Oh, it's black and pink!
This is a Chuck Taylor sneaker I got off Kith. It was a really good price. I've always liked it. You like it? You make it to a
It's black.
Alright, I've always liked this one a lot.
Oh, nice.
But I never wanted to pay for it because it was quite expensive. But it was on sale for I think $22 shipped. So I wanted to buy it. But the worst part about this is I didn't know it was lined in fur. So we live in Arizona and it is extremely hot. So I have no idea when I will actually be wearing these. But I do like them a lot. Chuck Taylor's a weird shoe. They're never true to size. If you wear a 9.5, buy a 9, buy an 8.5. You gotta go almost a full size down on Chuck Taylor for them to be comfortable. But I do like these, the fur and all that. They're not getting worn anytime soon, but you never know. But these are super dope. I love them. You like them, Cortez?
Did someone kill a bear and put them in there? Okay, so I like the fur inside. It's really fluffy, but who killed a bear? Anyway, I like the pink and the black.
Navy blue.
Blue and pink because I kind of like this. I kind of don't like the shoe because I don't really like the fur inside. Too fluffy that I don't really like it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't like the navy blue. It kind of looks like black, so don't like it.
Okay. All right.
Why do you do that?
I wanna hold it. I wanna hold it.
No, not that one. Not that one.
I wanna
I
hold
got
it.
it. I'm the longest.
Okay. All right. This right here is by far my favorite pair that I bought so far. Now these weren't on sale, but I had to get a pair of these. So.
Oh, it's pink.
This is. Yeah, is this pink?
Oh, I kind of like these.
So this is from somewhere in America, from FBCC. It's a black-owned business. You guys might have caught him on The Breakfast Club, and he's a sneaker designer. I've actually bought a pair of the valedictorians from him before. I actually tried to get a couple of the other pairs of these, but they sell out extremely quick, which is awesome to see from somebody who's got their own independence brand and company. This is by far my favorite pair I've bought recently. The best part about this shoe is that he's doing stuff that I'm sure other companies could do if they wanted to, but they're not doing it yet. So one of the best parts about this shoe is that it's pink, but when you take it outside, it turns purple. So it's color changing material to purple. It's also reflective. The silver is reflective 3M. It has the Saya logo on it, and it has a vulture on the back for a culture vulture because it's a shot at John Geiger, who's another designer who, they got a little beef going on. So we made a shoe dedicated to him, a culture vulture. By far, my favorite sneaker so far of 2020. This sneaker is great. It's wearable. It's super comfortable. The color changing is dope. The lacing system is great. The 3M, the sneaker is awesome.
Okay. I like the shoe because it can change colors, and
I love it.
I like how it's rough on the bottom. Kind of tickles. It really tickles. And this is a really cool, dope shoe. I like the sign right here. It looks pretty cool. And
I need you to talk louder, please, in the mic.
Can you guys stop talking to me, please? Thank you. Okay. And I really like the laces. I like how they're not messed up. And also, I like how the laces look new. And this shoe looks really dope, kind of, even though it's pink and purple. It's really dope, and I like the silver. And now Kuzi can explain.
Cruzy, you like these?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, talk to the mic, please.
I like these.
Why?
Because pink and gray.
Pink and gray?
Put this down a little bit.
Alright. I'll take it. Come back up. Alright.
Okay.
Alright, we only need one shoe out. One shoe.
I want some.
Alright.
I like this shoe.
Here.
I like it.
I like this too.
Okay, I want to explain first.
Alright.
I know.
This is a Pharrell Human Race NMD.
I like.
And I get to explain now.
Okay, well, no, let me explain it first. First of all, it has 4D technology.
It can turn pink.
No, it doesn't turn pink. It's just olive green. It's a Human Race. This sneaker retails for $400, okay? I only bought these because they were like 75% off. I wanted to try 4D. I like Pharrell. I thought the shoe looked fine in pictures, but this is one of the worst sneakers ever to me. It's not uncomfortable, but it doesn't even compare to Boost. 4D is absolutely worthless to me. The color is fine. I probably should have got the purple ones, but I feel like I have too many bright color sneakers that I don't wear as it is, so I wanted to give the olive a shot. Probably should have got the purple. The fit is fine. They look a little funky on feet. To me, not a favorite of mine whatsoever.
My favorite.
I mean, to have a pair of 4D... Actually, this might be my second pair of 4D. I don't remember. It is what it is. Cortez, you like these?
Not really. I just like this bit right here. I just like the bottom and the bit right here. But I don't like the green. I don't like the green stuff. I don't like all this, you know, so I don't really like it. Stop touching me.
You have to talk into the mic.
I am.
No, you're not. You're talking
Okay,
down.
I'm just getting emotional.
Nobody's going to be able to hear you.
Yeah.
I want to hold it. I want to hold that.
Cruzy, why do you want to hold the box?
Because
It's just a box.
The box is extremely heavy.
Okay. Let's open this.
Okay, you have to pull it.
Okay, pull.
Yes. Pull it out. Alright, let me get it.
No, I can't.
No, you can't.
Oh, snap!
what?
Oh, snap!
Okay, let me do it for you. I don't want you to mess up something. That's it. Here, shoe. No, that's it.
I like it.
Alright, these are LeBron Christmas 7s. You guys should know what these are. I have no idea why these are so disrespected by everybody who loves LeBron 7s
Black and white and red.
and red.
I really like this Nike shoe. It's so dope.
And
I'm not kidding. I like it.
This is the Christmas version of the LeBron 7. I got these for basically $100, a $200 sneaker. I wasn't gonna pass on these for $100.
I like it because it has that shade in it.
Okay, hold on. I don't understand how people. I don't understand how people pass on this sneaker. The sneaker, if you would have asked anybody, their top 10 Christmas sneakers, the LeBron 7 would have been in that, 100%. This sneaker is fire to me. This is one of the better quality retros we've seen in a very long time. Like, this is actual real leather. It's thick, it's sturdy. Like, I mean, come on. This sneaker is fire. Cortez, you like it?
I like the shoe. It's really dope. I like the silver on it, and also I like the black with the red stripes. And I like how it's like LeBron's Christmas ones. And I really like this metal bit right here, and I like how it shades.
So it's like gradient. It goes from red to black.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that too.
And also, I like how it has a tiny Nike sign, like it kind of blends in, So I also like this, whatever it is. It looks like a maze.
It's like a LB23, so it's like a combined logo. Hard to see it.
You can't even find a way out. Oh, I know where.
Well, it's not a maze.
Okay.
Okay, and also I like how it's like red, and then goes red, black, red, black, red, black. I like that.
Nice. All right, how many more we got left?
2 more.
2 more. Let's get this over with.
I can't get 2.
I hope the mics are picking you guys up because you guys are talking way too low and not in the mic.
No, we're not.
Well, I'm looking on the computer screen.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
get on the thing.
Ooh. Oh.
All right, let's just take out one.
Okay.
So, and Cruzy and Cortez will give it. Cruzy will give it to you. So this is hold on, I'll give it to you. Hold on. This is an Adidas Rivalry Low. Love this sneaker. It's a classic OG sneaker. I mean, this sneaker is what 80s, I believe. Right pair of pants, short summer. I got these for $26 shipped. I already have like 2-3 other pairs of these. These are phenomenal. I love these sneakers. This is a quality, high quality sneaker. This is one of Adidas' best silhouettes. It's old school and classic, but you know I like it a lot. And white and red, you can't go wrong with white and red. Cortez, you like these?
Nah, I don't like the red. And I just don't like the red. It doesn't really look so good. It doesn't look so good with the white. I would just like prefer like just all white.
For all white?
Yeah, it would look better. But I don't really like it, so.
Cruzy, you like these?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you like it?
Because I love red and white.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. Last one.
I love
Last one.
Thank God.
Okay,
I want to hold.
next sneaker.
Hey, give it to me.
No. Stop taking it. Okay. Next shoe is probably. Oh, I like these. Okay.
Sorry.
Are you?
Okay.
All these shoes are new.
Hold on. We'll
Okay.
get to you in a second. Hold on.
So, let you explain first because you always explain.
Hold on real quick. This is a Van. This is called Raspberry. Typically, red and purple, pink, whatever, going together is really tacky. But I really like this a lot. And I liked it a lot when I first saw it, but I would never pay full price for this. $30, I'll pay $30 for this. I'm not paying $90 for this. This is I think it's a dope sneaker. I'll figure out how to wear it. I actually bought a shirt from Nordstrom's the other day. So I can actually wear these. Like I like these a lot. I think they're really clean, nice materials, and you know we'll work some out with it. But for $30 versus the $90 it was, I'm all over it. You like it, Cruzy?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because it's purple and gray and red.
And you like that?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Let Cortez see it.
Okay. Oh,
Oh,
nice
good catch.
catch. Okay.
Good catch.
I like
Cruzy.
Got a big hand off a catch.
I like the purple on it, and I like the dark red. It's really nice. Like, I like the purple and red because you know like how blue and red makes purple? I like it. Whoever thought of that, they're really smart. And also, I really like the blue. I mean, not the blue, purple. I like the purple because it kind of looks like a bit of the red, but it doesn't really blend in. And also, there's pink shaded around in it. And I really like the pink. It's kind of dope. And
All right,
you
like
say dope all the time.
I know, but you're just saying the colors over and over. You gotta talk into the mic too, man. All right, that's all the sneakers. Okay, that was a lot of sneakers. All right.
Cut.
No, it's not cut. Everything okay? You guys having fun being at home?
Yeah.
You guys are?
And we're playing water guns.
What have you guys been doing since you've been at home?
Water
mic, please.
guns. And we've been swimming and stuff.
But you've been having fun.
Yeah, and we've been playing Beyblades and playing video games, doing homework and stuff.
Have you done your homework today?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You did some homework today?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Did you do a lot?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Me too.
You guys miss going to school?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I just want to do homework at
I
school.
want to see my teacher.
Oh, you want to see a teacher? Well, you're going to be going to a new school. Hopefully, okay?
A new one.
Yeah, you're going to my school.
You're going to see
I'm going to stay at Naval Paget until I'm in 5th grade.
I got all of it.
When I'm going in 6th grade, I have to go to a different school
Are you going to go test?
because it only goes to 5th grade.
Yes, you're going to go to Christian school. All right, do you guys have anything else to say? This is the last time we're doing this. So if you want to talk in the mic, say anything else? Tell everybody thank you for letting you do a few sneaker reviews. And
Thank you, people. Thanks for letting me do some sneaker reviews. Thanks.
that's it?
Yeah.
Nothing else?
Huh?
Nothing else?
No.
Okay.
Wine.
And also playing Hello Neighbor. We bought a few ones like a long time ago.
Why an egg?
Nobody understood.
And also, we got new stuff, like a Beyblade, new Beyblades. And also, if I be good, like, for 3 more days, I get Guys Fafnir Beyblade. It's a spin steel Bey.
I get a Ryan toy.
Okay, alright,
Oh,
now
yeah.
we're just talking now.
Okay.
Alright, thank you guys for doing this. I appreciate you doing this while I've been at home.
My mom and Catherine want to go on an aerial dress.
Oh, you want an aerial dress?
Yeah, and magical wand
And a magic wand?
and Catherine.
Yeah.
Okay, alright. Thank you, Cortez, for doing sneaker reviews. I appreciate it. Love you a lot. Have fun. Alright, say bye, Cruzy.
Bye.
Alright, who wants to say pow, pow, pow?
Pow, 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 pow. Okay, bye. Subscribe to
Alright, thank you.
Subscribe. Subscribe and leave a like.
That was a lot.
And ring the bell.
Listen to it.
Podcast mode. Okay. Alright. Yo, Sneak This Podcast. This is episode Closet 8, I guess. Hopefully I think I only have like maybe 1 or 2 more of these. We have somebody, special on the phone. He's somebody, who I've talked to for a while on Instagram. I definitely, if you don't follow him. He has a very cool collection of sneakers, and his IG page is very clean. We have Andy on the phone. On the line.
So, Greg.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfect.
Oh, okay. So we have Andy. So if you wanted to introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Andy. My Instagram's Andy0161. I'm from the UK. I'm from the north in the UK. Yeah, I'm just basically just a sneaker collector. It's something I've done for a while. I'm kind of around the community in the UK. Over years, I've kind of made connections and friends with people in America, with people in Japan and stuff. It's just, the community is massive. It's, I suppose, bigger than just my country or just America, or it's a worldwide community.
Yeah, Andy is I wanted to have Andy on because I had listened to him on another podcast, and I thought for some reason I don't know why I thought it was your podcast at first. I was like catching at pieces here and there, and I was like, man, it'd be good to hear somebody from the UK give their perspective on the sneaker culture, because you were the one that put me on to watching Soul Seekers.
Yeah,
and and our views of sneaker culture, around the world, especially being in America and the U.S., is dramatically different.
I think it's very similar. First, I'll just go back to so the podcast I was actually on is it's one called Pint of Stuff, which is a UK one, but it's quite it's a very small community within that. It does grow all the time, but it's run by a couple. So I think it's a husband and a wife that just generally like the skate trainers, and I think they've just progressed it from there. But it's just like every Sunday night they kind of come on YouTube and they do like a live hour, and we all just get to kind of chat along while they kind of run through the news of what's coming out, or it's like a small little casual. Everybody who kind of watches it, I think, now knows each other and have all become like speaking to each other, regardless of that podcast. So it's quite nice with it, really. It's
okay.
more than it's just become like its own little community within itself, I suppose.
Okay, yeah, because when I was listening to it, it was like it was making hints about being on YouTube, but I didn't really pick it up. I listened to it on Apple Podcasts, so.
Yeah. I think it's on all platforms.
Oh, okay, yeah, I think it's on everything. I saw it, but I want to get the opportunity, to talk about, sneaker, the sneaker community and everything, on that side of the world, in which we might not be too familiar with. But, I always ask everybody, how's everything going over there, quarantine-wise? Anything different? Has it progressed to opening up over there?
Well, it's very confusing. So we got locked down, I think it was the 23rd of March, when the Prime Minister decided we need to close the shops, we need to close everything down. We were almost in a good position, for lack of better words. No one's in a good position, but we kind of watched it travelling across the world before it got to us. And I felt, being a small, tiny island surrounded by water, we were almost in a good position, I suppose, to try and minimalise the effect or the impact it was actually going to have within the UK.
Right.
I actually work in healthcare, and I feel it was done far too late, really. Locked it down. So it was locked down on the 23rd of March. All shops closed. Everybody was to stay at home unless you were an essential worker and you had to go to work. You were only really allowed out to go and do some shopping. And I think for a good while, I think everybody stuck to it. I mean, it's a scary situation. People stuck to it. But I think the government have been quite confusing on what the message is. Like, we had one 2 weeks ago, I suppose, was his update, and people were kind of wondering what's going to happen. Is he going to relax the rules or something? It was hinted at he was going to relax the rules. But it was really the most confusing message. I had to watch it 3 times because I watched it and I just didn't understand what he was saying. It was kind of, go to work, but don't go to work. Stay in unless you've got to go out, but don't go out. If you have to go to work, don't use public transport unless you've got to use public transport, and let's carry on. So it kind of is a bit. Do you think it was a bit what's the message is actually giving here?
I'll say this, with us over here, it's like the same thing. The message just might as well be, do it at your own risk. That's basically what it is. It's like trying to set rules and stipulations for something that's just so uncertain.
That's kind of where it is at now. The message, the slogan, I suppose, was stay in and save the NHS, the National Health System. Like, stay in and help them. But it's now kind of changed to just be aware and be vigilant, which is a bit silly. Like, I mean, it's not something we can see, so I can't really be aware of something I can't see. So yeah, I think it's just got to common sense now. I think, well, we've all got to realise it's still bad. It's still not gone away. We all have to try and just do our bit and be as careful as we can. I've actually dealt with deaths all through this. I work with people with learning disabilities, autism and Down syndrome, and I've ended up kind of supporting people who've ended up catching it, and they ended up passing away. So it's been a bit of a bad time, really.
Yeah, what I do work-wise, we're considered essential as well. We've been able to work from home, but there are people that are still going in our office and have been getting it. And we've had a couple people actually pass away from it. It is a crazy situation. It's one of those things where, you kind of battle it within yourself. Every day it's like, I want to be as vigilant as possible, but then you do have this itch to want to go do something or whatever. And not to bring it back to sneakers, but, even when it comes to sneakers and clothes and stuff, like, a lot of people have been doing a lot of online shopping, and it's kind of like, why are we really, because we're really not going anywhere. But we have this hopes that soon we will,
Yeah, I think we're going to get. I say get back. I think we're going to go to a new normal. I don't think anything will be the same again. I think this will change a lot of things. I think, for instance, it would almost make sense with stuff like this for them not to use money anymore for everything, to get rid of paper and coin money. It would make sense. And I think things like that will actually come into play.
Right. Yeah, I the new norm of stuff, when it first all began, and the term new norm and all that was floating around out there, it always sounded temporary. But now new norm is like it sounds like the new permanent,
Yeah.
And
I think people here are struggling though now.
I'm sorry, like I hate, like, I mean, I had took my kids to get a Happy Meal the other day from McDonald's, and the typical drive-through window, and it's pretty wide open. They like put the clear plexiglass over probably like 70% of the window, and the lady was just, struggling to try to get the Happy Meals through the window, trying to get them to me, and I'm just like, please, I cannot, this can't be forever.
It's the same. Do your kids actually understand what's going on?
Yeah,
like,
we
do they
actually had to.
understand the seriousness of it? Because it's weird for us. So for a child, this must be crazy.
Yeah, we had to. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfect. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a little delay or something. But yeah, no, we had chose to just have to explain it to them because they just kept asking why we couldn't go to the park or why we couldn't go places. And my kids are 7 and 3, and I have a 21-year-old, but he knows. But I had to tell him, like, there is something out there making people sick, and we can't go out there touching everything like we can. And they've understood it now. Now they ask questions and say something. My 7-year-old, he's like, because of the viruses out there. So he's fully aware. I do know that they're getting a little stir crazy in the house. We've started to go to like a little bit of family's house here and there. Nothing major. They haven't been to no stores or nothing like that. Like everything around here it's kind of opening up. It's a lot of rules to get inside, but stuff is opening up. It's just, I'm more glad that they're not in school right now.
Yeah, well, we have this thing now where the MPs want their kids to go back to school. So, but teachers and stuff are fighting this. They've always been open for key workers, but I think that was not so many in each class. Whereas what they're actually aiming at now is to open up again the schools. So a lot of parents and a lot of teachers are just saying, we don't feel this is safe enough for you to do this right now. It's not safe enough. So I think there's a bit of back and forth with that. It's all very confusing here. We are still closed. The majority of the things are closed. We have McDonald's open and stuff, and that's drive-through and your Starbucks, but very, very few things are open. It's essential shopping. It's your supermarkets. That's pretty much it.
Well, yeah, it's funny you say that because, a lot of the teachers and stuff I heard that my wife has been in contact with, they have, said like they're under the impression that they will all be going back to school, end of August out here, usually when it does. But typically that's when the regular flu season starts. So it's kind of like, why even do it? And I think everyone out here is preparing for the entire year to just be no school. Me and my wife, we've hired a teacher already to come into the house twice a week to work with our kids because I don't want them to get far behind when they go back.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where it's like you're doing your best, but you really don't know what's right or wrong.
Well, our school system's different to yours as well. With school here in the UK, you finish it at 16. And then you can choose to go on to college and then go on to university. So the kids that had actually finished school this year almost didn't finish, like they finished their secondary school and that's them done ready for the big wide world. They literally didn't finish school. They got to March, they should have had 2 or 3 months left. And they literally just their years were finished. They've been given passes. So not really like the grades they would have got, I suppose, if they'd really put the work in and been able to be at school, but they've all been passed. But their year kind of ended in March, just out of nowhere, like just school is finished. So it must be really strange for them as well to have just not finished school, but be done with school. They're not going to go back and finish exams and stuff.
I know, that's what we were seeing, like some of the universities are trying to decide like how many classes they'll start back up to be on campus or just make it strictly online. And man, it's just this new norm. Like everybody is like getting the opportunity to miss out on these like really great moments, in their lives. And it's a lot of things that we took advantage of. Like, it's like
everything we all took for granted.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like just a simple thing of like, it's a big moment, but walking across the stage in graduation, weddings, I had a lot of people that I know that have had to cancel their weddings,
Yeah.
and it's crazy.
Yeah, I have a few friends with that. I have a lot of friends as well that play music. A lot of my friends are in bands. It's a bit of a thing to do around here. People grow up playing in bands, and it's weird for them as well because they're so used to just being out and about playing a show here or there, and it's just all completely stopped. But looking at that, they say that's going to be one of the last things to come back. Is going to be people being able to kind of all go out and go and watch a show. That's going to be one of the last things.
Yeah. And, for everybody who's listening, Andy and I are going to do our top 10 sneakers inspired by musicians.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, and when I was looking up sneakers, I was like, I've done this before already. We did this on probably about 30, 40 episodes ago, but I'm glad we're redoing this because I looked at my list and my list wasn't bad, but it was kind of, it wasn't a good representation of what I really wanted. So my list is revamped and really good.
Well, when I thought about it of like a top 10 of what to do, I think on my Instagram, I think it's a bit obvious that like I quite like my collaborations in sneakers. I like them to tell a story, or I do have a lot of general release. I have a lot of hype, but I'm interested more in a collaboration, I suppose. So when thinking of what kind of top 10, that just kind of made sense to me. That obviously I love music and I love sneakers, so it just made sense to kind of put that together.
No, that was a good one. I liked it, and I'm glad we're going to redo that. Have your buying of sneakers or anything for sneakers changed since quarantine?
I'm ridiculous when it comes to buying anyway. I know that I buy too many. It's all I do. It is ridiculous, and I understand it. I've had a conversation with you before, actually, when I can't remember what we spoke about, and you said you buy far too many trainers, and it's true, I do. But no, so it's kind of been the same for me. It's just changed to, I suppose, being online instead of the usual kind of picking train, going to a store. Or I travel to London a lot. I'm from Manchester, so I'm from the north of England. I travel a lot to London, to the south of England, to pick up a lot of trainers or sneakers. But it's just all kind of changed to going online. A lot of it, and I suppose this has come from this virus, is I'm now starting to see the delays, which I didn't see for the first maybe 4 or 5 weeks of this. Maybe the stores had the stock in already. Now I'm starting to see the delays where people just don't have the stock, or the sneaker has actually just been delayed full stop because they can't get it out to them.
Yeah,
like the what do you call it? Sorry, the Chunky Dunkies. There's a lot of the stores here that we're going to have them ready to be dropping tomorrow are all saying this could be next week or the week after because we just haven't had the stock come in yet.
Well, what's crazy is that like like you said, it's a good point you brought up. When all this first started kind of happening and they were making the warnings saying that, purchases and stuff like shipping will be affected, I had never seen it. Like I had never seen any issues of anything I buy coming in slow. Stores still seem to be okay. But in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I placed an order and I haven't even got confirmations on some of them. And I got the confirmation that I purchased it, but I haven't got the confirmation of like your order's in process or it's shipped. Nothing.
I think it also depends what you're buying as well. I think if it's just a general release that the store already has, I think it's a lot easier. When it's something new coming in, I think that's where the delay might happen.
Well, what's funny is that like the store out here, Manor, which is a local boutique, they're learning their lesson as well on things because a lot of their shipments got delayed. And one thing that I always preach about, even with stores, even with the podcast, whenever I have a guest on or somebody that's going to come on or someone I've been talking to about coming on, I never pre-promote it. Like I never say next week I'm going to have Andy on from the UK, because if some technical difficulties happen, if the audio is weird and I don't want to post it, whatever the case may be, I never pre-promote. And a lot of stores have been pre-promoting a lot of releases and never had the shipment yet. So
Yeah.
you know, they promoting the Brazil dunks that just came out, the LeBron media days, and the camo Volt Air Max 90s, Atmos, whatever. They were promoting that a lot, and then they had to send out a post. Hey, sorry, our shipment hasn't come in. It's been delayed. Yada yada yada. So I think a lot of people are running new practices.
I think the big one we had with that was the Nike Fear of God ones, you know, the all black pair.
Oh, okay.
They have literally just dropped now in the UK, whereas they were being spoke about weeks ago. I didn't go for them, so I'm not actually 100% sure when the release date was, but I think it must have been 4 weeks ago or something. And a friend of mine had ordered and actually like kind of won a raffle for the London and Amsterdam Air Max ones. And she's waited ages for them. She's only just got them now, and I think they actually came out in March, where she literally received them this week.
Oh, really?
But the biggest one, that I can think of off the top of my head with that is the all black Fear of God ones.
Hold on a second, Andy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfect.
Oh, okay. Man, something just keeps happening with my my microphone and earphones. So I'm sorry. What were you saying about the Fear of God one? Sorry.
That's probably the biggest release that I can think of that was delayed when everybody was expecting it to drop on a certain date and just every store had just couldn't deliver.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of things going on right now, and you know, I had friends. You know, actually, it's George. You know, George has had stuff shipped, and it's been in the state, but like it's like traveling all over the state before it actually gets to them. And I just been like, you know what? I'm trying to be patient, you know, and I kind of feel like really, you know, it makes me feel a little small to be like angry at somebody, you know, to be bothered that my sneakers or my T-shirt hasn't got to my house, considering what's going on in the world. Like, it's a minor thing, you know.
Well, I was listening to that on your last episode with Micah, and he was saying that, wasn't he, with the camp out hoodies and the camp out T-shirts and stuff, how he had one colour that he couldn't deliver. He managed to get all the other colours and get them out to the people who wanted them. But he had this one colour, didn't he? So he ended up giving everybody a T-shirt as well along with it, whoever had bought it, for kind of just being patient and going along with it.
Yeah, and that was super dope, and I enjoyed that conversation. I will tell the listeners today, this won't be a 3-hour podcast. I don't know if I got that in anymore. Those just happen to happen, but I'm definitely interested to hear about, you know, everything from the UK. So just real quick, like always, traditional, we always do pickups. So have you bought anything recently or lately?
The last thing I bought was the size exclusive A6 Gel Light Free. The OG, celebrating the 30 years of the Gel Light Free. That was the last pair I picked up. I got them last week. Oh, I also we have a store here in the UK, Offspring. It's a fantastic store for the community. In the UK community, it tries so hard. That's almost our headquarter, I suppose. There are other stores here. We have sneakers and stuff. We have End. We have all these other big stores. But Offspring goes the extra mile for the community. And they actually collaborated with Adidas on a ZX 8000. So I've just picked that up as well.
Is that the like cream color looking one with the words on the laces and stuff?
Yeah, that's the one, like a silvery and pink one.
Yeah, that one's dope.
I got the Offspring community wrote on the laces. Yeah. Well, I'd seen that a while back because Offspring and Adidas had held an event in London. So they were kind of showcasing a lot of things, and I had seen that shoe there, so it's something I'd had my eye on for a while, knowing when that drops I want to get hold of that.
Yeah, I've actually had quite a few pickups. I haven't really talked about them yet, but you know, I wanted to have my son on to do his little sneaker review part, but I picked up about 3-4 Vans. I grabbed the Adidas Pharrell 4Ds, which I don't like 4D. I think 4D is ridiculous. It's definitely not comfortable. I don't know if you've tried it yet.
I've not. It's not something that I've considered. I don't know. It's just, it's not for me.
Yeah, it's gimmicky. Like, it's like, wow, 4D. It was one of those things where, like, when we first started seeing it, you know, certain people had it, and the ideal of it was cool, and we were still kind of on a little high on Boost. But, nah, it's not
you know, and it's remarkable to see the prices of them. Like 4D sneakers are on sale for cheap.
Yeah, considering what they were when they first came out to where it's gone now. But I think you're right with that, and I do think it feels a little gimmicky, and I think it lost its sparkle. I think when it first came out and people were thinking, oh, this new technology, I think as time's gone on, people have lost interest real quick.
Yeah, you know what's funny is like it's sort of they went with the same route with like Boost. I remember when Boost had first came out, their real promotion of it was like how hard it was to produce Boost. Like they made it seem like we just can't drop Boost sneakers because Boost isn't something that's easy to create or whatever. And they kind of did the same thing with 4D. It was like super limited. I only knew a few people that had it, and they were like store owners. And they were like, you know, released like 50 pairs or whatever, and they were like $500 at a time. Now it's like now they put 4D on everything, and it's like, okay, well now you've perfected it, but it's kind of too late. And then once you've perfected it and we've all got it on our feet, it doesn't feel like anything.
Yeah, well, I think that's a problem Adidas have. I think, really, to be honest, I think the way that they promote things and drop them, they just don't really ever seem to get things right.
Yeah, which is I don't understand it. Like it's like they keep getting away with themselves. You know, I hate that a lot of conversations with Adidas either starts and ends with Yeezy. I mean, that's pretty much the way it is.
Well, I think it's different here in the UK. We have Adidas is a very big brand here, but I also think it's separated. There is a north and south divide. And in the north, Adidas is a huge brand. It's comes along with the youth culture from the 80s, I suppose. So it's, you know, your terrace shoe, your Specials and your Gazelles and your Stan Smiths. It's come through the youth culture of, I suppose, what you call soccer, but the football community and the football culture in the UK. So it's still quite a thing in the north.
Well, you know, we'll get into that. So let me ask you this, sir. So we could get into that, and you can kind of talk to me about that. So I do want to talk about that UK sneaker culture, London, England sneaker culture, because, you know, this is from my perspective, and I'll tell you just from probably a lot of Americans who have maybe never traveled to England. My personal take and view England, it's always, you know, England just always seemed very, you know, super clean cut, proper. You think about the royal family, you think about the weather, you think about it more of like, you know, architectural, you think about a lot of things. And I was one of the people who really didn't think about streetwear culture or sneakers when it came to England. Like you said, with soccer, you know, football, it was always like, you know, just under the assumption that Adidas. And I remember when I first started getting introduced to England sneaker culture was on Facebook, and it was from Facebook groups, and I would be in a lot of like trainers, which you guys call all sneakers trainers, right?
Yeah, trainers, yeah.
Okay, so then for us, trainers is trainers, you know, stuff that like traditionally would like actually be trained in, or casual, you know. So I would be in a lot of ASIC, New Balance, Air Max, Facebook sneaker groups, and they were always heavy England based. So I kind of want you to just kind of talk to me about the culture. Actually, you know what? Let me ask you this first. Sorry, let me go back. And I never ask people this, but I do want to hear it from you because it would probably be dramatically different from ours here. But what actually got you into sneaker culture first?
Well, for me, my experience, it was the all black Reebok Classic. I think that was in the 90s, that was the staple sneaker in the UK, was the all black Reebok Classic. It was that one shoe everybody had or everybody wanted. So yeah, that was it for me. It was being a kid and just seeing this dead clean all black Reebok Classic and just wanting that. That was the first sneaker that I ever really cared about and wanted to get hold of. I remember getting it as well, and just, yeah, that was it. Like, it changed for me then.
Do you still wear Reebok Classics?
Oh yeah, I wear loads of Reebok Classics. Yeah, there's very few brands I don't really wear, to be honest.
Yeah, you have a really eclectic collection. Like it's pretty out there.
There's no theme, I don't think. Like I'm not like an Air Max collector, or it just is what it is. It's whatever I feel like grabbing, I suppose. I mean, I can literally go from a Yeezy 500 one day to a Chuck Taylor the next day to an up tempo the day after. Like it's literally just whatever I feel like grabbing hold of.
You know what's funny is that like you and I had Jixie on a few episodes back. You know, it is rare to hear anybody. I mean, I've heard many conversations of people that started their collection or got in their sneakers from Reebok, but it was always from like Sean Kemp, Iverson on that point. Never a Reebok classic. You know, if you ask a lot of Americans, like, how'd you get into sneakers? Where'd you get into it? It would start with Jordans, you know, maybe some Air Max here and there, Penny Hardaway. It would start there. But when I think of UK and England, I don't know exactly where the influence of everything came from.
I think that was an across the board thing, was the Reebok Classic. But again, before that though, there is like the North and South divide, so it is very different. The South and London was very Air Max orientated. It's very their I suppose the start of their scene was, yeah, it was very heavily influenced by Air Max. So, whereas the the North was more of your terrace shoe. It was more of the Specials and Gazelles and stuff like that.
Now, what was the influence like on that side? Like, because like sneaker culture, when I think of sneaker culture England wise, it seems relatively new. Like I even though, you know what, let's put it this way, not relatively new, because what everyone there was interested in just weren't really high on the interest level here, to me, in, you know, my...
No, I agree with that. Yeah, I think that's right, yeah. No, I agree. It's a completely different style. I think, if anything, the more time goes on, I think England is more influenced by... I mean, obviously, it started in America, but I think it had found its own style instantly, I think, the UK. We just came at it from a completely different angle. I just think as time's gone on, it is now Jordans are huge here. I mean, they have been for a long time anyway, but you drop a new Jordan 1 here in whichever colourway and people lose their minds for it. People love Jordans. Personally, I'm not really, as you can see on my page, I'm not really into Jordans. It's just not for me. But I have a lot of friends where they're waiting on that next colourway for that next Jordan 1. But yeah, so in the North, I think where I'm from, where it came from is the football and the terrace stuff. But this was quite, the area I'm from is quite poor. The North was quite a poor area, I suppose, in the 80s. And it more came from, I'd say originally, it probably came from Liverpool Football Club being a big, successful football team in Europe, and their fans travelling to different parts of Europe when they play different teams. So for them, it was the terrace shoe was your Gazelles, your Specials, Stan Smiths, stuff, that type of Adidas shoe. And what they used to do was, which isn't great, but when they used to go to Europe, a lot of the fans would kind of go to these really high-end stores and they would steal clothes. They would all go in and steal a lot of the clothes and they'd bring them back to the UK. And all the other fans would see, I suppose, the Liverpool fans in all this designer gear that they really shouldn't be wearing. They had they shouldn't have been wearing it. It just wasn't made for them. But I think that was also the appeal, is that these poor people from Liverpool are wearing these clothes with these trainers. And I think it spread out over clubs, other fans of the clubs wanted to kind of get in and look like that. So I think that's how it kind of spread around the North. It did hit the South as well, but I'm not traditionally the same way the North is when it comes to, I don't wear Specials, I don't wear Gazelles, I don't really wear that type of stuff, but that scene of the terrace shoe is still massive within the North. People will still, when there's a new Special drop in, for instance, the last one I actually remember, one of my friends wanted it, was the Liam Gallagher from Oasis, the indie band. Well, they're from Manchester, and Liam Gallagher had a Special come out not too long ago. and people were stood outside the shop from about 7 o'clock at night, the night before, waiting for it to drop. Like, there's still a scene for those specials and stuff. I don't think it happened so much in the South. In the South, even though they did have their own kind of style and stuff beforehand, I think that more came with like the birth of grime music.
Okay, so going back to what you were saying about Jordans, like, is it just Jordan 1s or is it like all Jordans?
It's predominantly Jordan 1s, but it's all Jordans, I think. 1s, 4s, 5s, I think, are the most popular here. But yeah, 1s are majorly big.
So it sounds like out here.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like that culture, like, we always, when I think about traveling, we talk about like destination shops. Even though I'm aware of the sneaker culture out there, like me and my wife, we plan on going to Paris next year if that happens, and we plan on stopping off in, I think we'll be in London probably for like 3 or 4 days. But even the thought of going there, it never crossed my mind. Like, I want to check out some of the sneaker spots. Like, I've never thought that.
I think wherever you be in London, you will notice it anyway. It's massive these days. So I think it's very easy. There's a lot of stores around London for you to, the Foot Patrol, sneakers and stuff, definitely Offspring. And then you have your more standard ones, which are JD Sports, your Foot Lockers. Yeah, it's expanded so big these days. I think it's the retailers have took notice that it is more than just somebody kind of wanting to go to a Foot Locker and buy a React Element 55 off the wall. Like, I think they've actually paid attention to that, how big the scene and the community has probably got in the UK.
How are releases done out there these days? Like, even in the past, how was it? Because you did mention about how they were waiting for that one sneaker and they were out there from 7 a.m. Like, is camping or raffles? Like, how's the releases out there?
Oh, yeah. I think we're very similar to America when it comes to that. Yeah, there's people are camping for sneakers. People are entering raffles and stuff. It's exactly the same, I think. I think the last one, I was going to do it for the Strange Loves, but it was just filled with outside a skate shop. Obviously, are you the same there? Whereas SBs only really sold in skate shops.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to ask you about SBs out there, but SBs out here are typically only available in skate shops. We have had a few of our, I don't know if they're still called boutiques, but like Undefeated, they've started selling a couple here and there. They've had some of the bigger releases as of late, but SB Dunks are typically still sequestered to skate shops. I mean, SBs didn't even release on the Sneakers app, and now they do.
Yeah, well, that's the same here. Everything else kind of goes through every other retailer, but once it comes to your SB Dunks and stuff, it's exclusively either online or to skate shops. So I'd gone with my friend for the Strange Loves. They dropped at 8 o'clock in the morning. So we decided we'll just go down for the day. It was nice weather. We'll just go down and we'll just spend the day in town and we'll just wait. And we got there at 2 o'clock in the afternoon the day before, and there must have been 30, 40 people there already. They'd already made their own list. They had 70 odd people that weren't there that are apparently on this list. And not to stereotype people, but they were not the type. They were there to resell. They were not there to kind of try and get themselves a pair of trainers. So yeah, we ended up leaving. Luckily, I managed to get a pair off a raffle. But yeah, camping is a thing here. You're competing with the resellers all the time now, I think, when it comes to a camp.
So I was gonna ask you, reselling big out there?
Yeah, huge, massive. There's so many people who do it. It's not for me. I don't really do reselling. I don't sell anything. I very rarely buy anything resale unless it's something that I've missed out on and I really, really want. I think the last thing I actually paid resale for was the white and black pair of Fear of God Converse.
Okay.
I just wanted to add all three to my collection. I managed to get 2 pairs of the grey. I'm still after a black pair. And yeah, the white pair, I ended up buying them for, it was only like £30 over retail. So I didn't really care about that. That wasn't really a thing, but yeah, I wouldn't pay these silly prices that some people are paying on sneakers, where it retailed at £89 and they're paying £500. That's crazy to me, though.
Yeah, so I know like StockX has a present in England. So StockX is pretty big out there, resale wise and all that.
Yeah, it's a huge StockX. People keep getting hacked though, from what I gather. I only use that as a cross reference, really. StockX. I don't have an account with it. I don't really use it like that. But a lot of people I do know have had their accounts hacked a good few times recently. It doesn't seem so trustworthy, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean that was a big thing that's been happening out here. I didn't know if it was still something out there. When I had watched, and I tell everybody, I've been telling people like, hey man, check out Soul Seekers. I actually watched it on Amazon Prime, and it was like $1.99 or something like that, and I didn't mind paying for it. It was about a 2 hour show, maybe like an hour and a half, and it was good content. It was good stuff to learn. It was good to see, sort of like the origin and understanding of sneaker culture out there. What like the people that they had on their feature, I just started following King of Trainers and a few other people that were featured on it. Influencing influencers, is that big out there?
I don't think so. Yes and no, I suppose. I think there are some people. I'm too old to do it myself to care about what, and like that's never going to do anything for me. Like I do think maybe the young uns it does. I think really it's hype that a lot of people are more influenced by. I think, like I know King of Trainers has got a pair of trainers coming out. He's got some Alessia coming at some point. It is a really nice trainer, but if you drop that on the same day that a Travis Scott something comes out, everyone's going to go for the Travis Scott. Hype is massive here as well. Which is really annoying because I think we all like some bits that are hype. We all do. It just so happens that some of the bit I'm never going to like it because it's hype, but regardless of it being hype, I may like it. But there are people here that will only go for the hype. I don't really class that the same as like a sneaker collector or somebody that's involved in the community and the culture. It seems more done for the Instagram likes. People want to be the first person with that trainer and to have put the first picture up of it.
Yeah, I mean it's it's something. It's one of those beasts you just can't beat. I mean, hype is, I mean, I wanted to hear about your take on hype overseas because, over here we get very tunnel vision. In America, we have our own set ways and how things are done here, and it kind of gets to the point to where it's like we act like we're the only country and everything that matters. Especially in sneaker culture. But I was gonna ask you, like, do things sell different out there than they do here? Like, would something that might fly here sit there?
I think it's very similar, to be honest. I think the one thing I will say, I think the breakdown has a very UK feeling. Like the stuff they're into is quite big in the UK. Your New Balance, your Asics, right. That's quite a UK shoe. That's like standard here. Vans are massive here as well. For some reason, every girl seems to own a pair of Vans. Even if they're not into the sneakers, their standard go-to is a pair of Vans. No, but I think the majority of the things are the same. I don't know, when a new Travis Scott collaboration drops, people want it. When an Off-White or anything to do with Virgil drops, people want it. Certain things kind of run out of hype. Obviously, and everybody wants the Yeezys. Everybody's always jumping on them. I do think the hype has died down for 350s, but right. Any other kind of thing that they bring out, people, they jump all over it. I do think the hype came and went pretty quick with Fear of God, though, I would say.
I will. The Fear of God ones or whatever, I do feel like the black pair was pretty obtainable if you really wanted it. Like, I didn't see anybody having any difficulties, and I definitely don't know anybody or see anybody who took, a quote-unquote L on them. It seemed like everybody got them who wasn't able to get any of the previous pairs, which I think is a good thing, but I think once you reach that level, you start to see who really likes the sneaker.
Yeah, well, that's what's happened with the 350s as well, though, hasn't it? It's gone from everybody, even people paying resell and being crazy, to one almost dropping every fortnight. And you've seen people go from loving 350s to saying, no, I'm never going to pick another one up. I have enough of them.
Well, you know, what's funny is like, you know, you were saying like the hype and Travis Scott's and stuff like that, like a ZX, you know, out there, those sell out, right?
Mm.
Okay, and see out here, they don't. Like, it's not
all of them will. I think it has to be that, but because it's such a standard shoe here, they are going to sit on the shelves anyway because it's a standard shoe. It's that European feel, I suppose. It's been normal. We've grown up with having that on the shelf. That's a go-to trainer for a lot of people. So it's standard for that to just be an easy, accessible pair to pick up.
You guys have the same difficulties we do with, like, you know, stores selling pairs early, backdooring, anything like that?
Yeah, it's been known. Yeah, it's been known. We've actually, where I live now, they've always had this in London. Manchester was a bit slow with it. We've actually now just got 2 consignment stores that have opened. One of them that I know is able to get back doors. It happens constantly. There was actually somebody else, an American YouTuber, had actually called them out. And I know the lad who works in this shop. So I found that really crazy, considering this is just some shop that's down the road from me. Some quite established YouTuber had kind of called him out saying, I've noticed this, and it's just not on how people are struggling to get this. And you're promoting your picture of all these backdoored. It was I think it was the Off-White Presto, actually, when the second time round when they dropped the black and the white pair. And I think it was the black pairs. Yeah, and the YouTuber had called him out, basically. Man, I just found that crazy. I was like, you know, the other side of the world is kind of having a go at somebody I know who lives down the road.
Right.
But yeah, no, it does happen. As far as I'm aware as well, there was one shop that got in trouble here because they basically didn't sell any of the Trav Dunks. When they saw how much the Travis Scott Dunks was reselling for, they literally sent them all to StockX.
You know, it's always like speculation that stuff like that always happens, which I'm sure it does. But, you know, it's I don't want to say it's a good thing to know, but it's just a universal thing that everyone has to deal with within the sneaker community. I
think some shops care and some don't, though. Like we have, my go-to shop is always going to be Offspring. I've had a good relationship with them for a long time. And I think they push massively for, we want to sell the sneaker to the person who wants to wear it. If you don't want to wear it, we don't want to sell it to you. And if they find out that they're helping the community kind of get shoes and you're purposely buying it so that you can go and resell it, you will never win a raffle with them again.
They actually enforce that?
Yeah, if they're aware of it, yeah. Because some people are quite open with it, aren't they? So, you know, they'll get their shoe and they'll sell it on social media. Yeah, no, they absolutely 100% will enforce that.
Huh. How do you guys
But that's where I think that's become the headquarters of the community here. I think it's through that. It's through the genuine, like, sneakerheads, I suppose, that really want the shoes to wear the shoes. That's who they're trying to cater for. And I think they feel like if you want to resell them, then go somewhere else. Go and buy them from somewhere else. So I think over the last few years, they're never going to be able to stop it. But I think they've been able to weed out a lot of the people that were purposely in it for that.
Do you guys buy a lot from US sites?
So when it comes to US side, there's nothing really I can't get here when it comes to sneakers. Very few. With US sites, it's more the clothing and stuff. Like, I mean, I like Staple. So when they don't have a store here, I like Chinatown Market. They don't have a store here. The Hundreds does. So I can order from like the Hundreds UK. But when it comes to other parts of clothing like that, I have to kind of buy it from America. So I think it's very few. I think there's very few releases, sneaker-wise, that America has that we don't get.
So then you got, well, yes, I know you guys might get it because we do as well, but I mean like on like special drops. Like, are you on any of our store sites waiting for a sneaker to drop? Because we're on end. You know, I buy off end all the time. I enter all the end raffles. You know,
Well, that's
Cali
quite
Root.
strange because, as far as I'm aware, there was a new rule that's come in where only certain couldn't like you're only allowed now to buy within Europe. When it comes to certain, when a shop drops a certain shoe, I'm not allowed to enter it if it's outside of Europe. They can only
Well,
cater to Europe.
yeah. So like, you know, we can't enter the raffles on a Travis Scott and, you know, stuff like that, like big things like that. But we
Right.
can still get all the New Balances. We can still get all the, you know, whatever else that drops. And like they sell out quick. Like the New Balance 327. That one over here is just flying anytime it drops anywhere. But I got mine from Sneakers and Stuff. You know, when they dropped a few colorways, I got mine off Sneakers and Stuff. Like, does that bother any of you guys that we're dipping into your guys' stock?
No, I don't. I don't think it's that. I think everybody should try and get what they want to get hold of from wherever they can get. I don't think it shouldn't be done like that. If it's done like that, necessarily, we're taking from your stock because, you know, Nike is American, so we're taking it from there originally. So I don't think it can be looked at like that, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, but it's like, you know, if Sneakers and Stuff only gets a certain amount, I mean, there's a Sneakers and Stuff here in California, so like, you know, End only gets a certain amount of, you know, a New Balance 327, and, you know, you guys want it as well. We've already depleted all of our sites. We've depleted, you know, any site that's dropped it, we've already depleted it, and now we're waiting for the in release. You know, I would have assumed. I mean, I would be bothered by it.
No, I don't. I've never even heard anybody even bring that up as a thing. I don't think anybody cares about that, to be honest. I think we feel it's fair game. It's whoever is after it.
Well, you know what? I could tell you this. If I know, I haven't really heard of it as being a discussion here because I don't even know if anybody from another country like Japan, China, anywhere could even do that, you know, England, wherever, like buy from an Undefeated or, you know, one of our store, but Undefeated is in Japan as well, I believe, in China. But I honestly think if on our sites, if it was a big thing where anybody from other countries were like dipping into our stock pool and taking it, they'd be so mad here.
Well, actually, a couple of weeks ago, there was a pair of Dunks that I dropped. And I have a friend in America. I was trying to actually get hold of them for him. Like my idea was to try and get hold of them and send them to America for him because he really wanted them. But as soon as I had them in my cart and I went to pay for them, and the website just fell apart, so I didn't end up getting them. But no, I don't think people care with stuff like. I think people will just help each other out or don't even care who's getting it. I've never felt like that before. I've never thought, no, this is for us exclusively.
How big are the women in the community?
Massive here. It's not. That was actually how we started speaking about something, wasn't it? Not too long ago when you were saying there was something about that. No, the women here, if anything, is pushed. The female sneaker community in the UK is pushed. If anything, it's. I wouldn't say it's much smaller than the male. I do think the male amount is bigger, but no, we have a hell of a lot of female sneakerheads here. It's growing constantly.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those where, you know, and I don't know how it is out there. You know, one of the issues with here is that, you know, I know you guys are on social media, and there's probably some YouTubers, you know, who do, you know, some stuff, and it's such a movement for women sneakerheads to be more apart and septic, like content wise they might create sneaker wise, the ability to buy sneakers, you know, they hate when men buy them all and then want to resell them, you know, size like 6 and a Yeezy out here, you know, is like prime for a woman, but it's also prime to sell, you know, that's a lot of money for a Yeezy. And I feel like if we eliminated a lot, like there's just too much content now. Like, I mean, I think every single person, you know, who I know on IG or follow or talk to regularly has some sort of content that they create, whether it's sneaker reviews or a podcast or a blog or, whatever it is, Twitch, whatever. It's just such a big movement that of people looking for some type of support that sneakers get lost.
I think the stores here, like on my page, for instance, it has my shoe size, but that's because a few stores in the UK have said that, like, when you're going for your raffles through Instagram or whatever it is, they want your shoe size on your bio, because when it comes to allocating that pair of sneakers, you're only going to win your size. So I couldn't enter for, I could off, like, say, Adidas or wherever it be, but on the stores, I couldn't try and enter for 5.5. They know that I'm a UK 9. I couldn't have a 5.5. So if I entered for that, they saw it was a 5.5. I'm not winning the shoe. It's not going to happen. The 5.5s are going to be allocated to people that size.
How big or how crazy is it getting for people wanting the Ben and Jerry dunk?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Even my Instagram's turned ridiculous. I've ended up having to post about 6 different things, which I generally wouldn't put on my Instagram. It's the same again. This is the hype. This is the hype thing, though. Again, I love dunks, and I've got a good few pairs, and I've had them for a long time. But I'm seeing people now jump onto the hype of dunks. Probably since the Paras dropped, or maybe the Trabs have dropped, I'm seeing people jump onto it now who maybe 18 months ago would have told me I don't really like them. All of a sudden now they're jumping onto everything. I also think, again, it goes back to the hype. I think what people determine resale price is going to be also decides whether a lot of people like the shoe or not. So I think people knowing it's going to be silly expensive on resale makes more people want that shoe. Well, I watched it when the Trabs dropped. I missed out on them. Can you hear me?
What'd you say? The what?
Oh, what did you hear then? Sorry.
You said something dropped?
Yeah, when the Travis Scott dunks dropped,
okay.
I missed out on them. But I didn't feel too bothered. It was a shoe I wanted, but I also feel like I got the better dunk of the year up to now anyway. That Strangelove for me is probably a shoe of the year up to now for me. But so I want to, yeah, it's gorgeous. I think the detail on it is amazing. I think it also shows what brands can do for the price. If they can make a shoe that quality for £89, why am I getting charged nearly £200 for a 350?
They just look like girl shoes. It's just a little bit too much for me. Like I did see one pair in person, and I will say it looked a lot nicer in person. I feel like what is it, velvet? Like,
yeah, crushed velvet.
Yeah, like I feel like it makes the shoe seem a little bit thicker or bulkier. That was the one thing with out here. Like I don't know if SBs were ever big prior to the wave now in England. But out here, it was a really big wave. It was sort of, dunks had its place, way before a lot of people actually got into it. But then when it kind of got more mainstream with a lot of the like special releases, it was sort of everybody's way of easing away from basketball sneakers. So it was like,
well, I think
go ahead.
Sorry, I think the one comparison we have with the difference of that, yeah, I think that's right with the SBs. But I think the way American sneaker heads, you could have people who just strictly love Jordans or are into the Air and stuff, whatever it be. I feel the SB Dunks also had its own community almost within the community. That's, I think, the same in the UK when it came to the Terrace shoe, when it came to the Specials and the Gazelles. That had its own community within the community.
And I feel like the people who have always been in the SBs, well, I don't know. I didn't know anybody who was only in the SBs. I knew people who really, really loved SBs. George is one of them. George loved SBs, bought a lot of SBs, but then he also bought Air Maxes and he bought Jordans and Asics and stuff like that. His collection was a lot of SB, but he still bought a lot of other stuff. I never knew anybody who was like really, really SB heavy, besides George. And I feel like when a lot of us had got on that first or second, whichever wave of SB, it was trying to ease our way out of basketball shoes, and we looked at these as more casual, and it was kind of like the themes were cool, so we took that opportunity to say like, oh, here's something that like I can, even with Janoskis. I don't know if Janoskis were big out here, but a lot of people forget Janoskis out here were huge at one point.
Yeah, I think they are here, but it's more in the skate scene.
See, it got away from the skate scene out here. It was everybody was buying Janoskis. There were some Janoskis selling upwards of $500, $600, which is crazy now. Now I don't see.
Yeah, it's not like that here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't see.
That's the type of sneaker I can pick up on sale. I mean, I do have a few pairs, but I pick them up on sale. I can pick them up at an outlet, or I wouldn't have to pick that. That's the type of sneaker I know when it drops. If I really want it, I can hold out. I don't have to buy that now because I will get it cheaper in 4 months' time.
Oh, 100%. Like, it's just like this weird wave. So people are out there are wearing SBs who didn't wear them before.
Yeah. But there's also a lot of people, obviously, who were into them that are now a bit salty that it's become like that, because 2 years ago, like, for instance, the panda pigeons, when I went and got them, the skate shop I went to, I camped for them, but I didn't really need to. I was 11th in the line, and I think the skate shop that I went to had 23 pairs, and I was 11th. What was the next one? I'm trying to think what was the one after that. Yeah, so there wasn't really that many people there when it comes to that. There was probably maybe, I don't know, 50 people in line. So obviously only half the people got the shoe, but it wasn't that many. Give it 6 months down the line, and it was ridiculous for the people who were camping days before. The Strangeloves, there was people doing that for the Strangeloves. When we'd got there at 2:00 in the afternoon, the guy who was first in the queue had been there since midnight the night before. And he was reselling. And he said he'd already sold his shoe. He'd already sold it for £300. So when I worked that out of how long it was, he's probably done that for £3 an hour or whatever it was. So he's literally camped that long, and he was basically paid £3 an hour. He was very silly though. If he really wanted to resell it, he should have kept hold of it. I've recently seen on eBay they're selling for $1,800.
Yeah.
So he didn't do himself very good. Like,
well, what's funny is that like it's hard. It's so hard now. At one point, like months ago, I talked about it's hard to gauge what should sell out or what will sell out and what doesn't sell out. I've had a hard time gauging that lately with some sneakers, but the prices, you can't even really gauge it anymore. There are some people that can give you some estimates and understanding, but recently I saw how much Strangeloves with the special box are going for. I almost fell out of my chair.
Crazy.
It's crazy high. How much a Travis Dunk with the special box go for? The box is bandana with some bandana paper. It's nothing special, but it's so much higher than just a regular box.
One of the consignment stores here told me just the standard box, Travis Scott. I said to him, how much are you selling them for? And at that point, he was doing them for £800, which is crazy. And he said to me, but we're not selling them. And I said, well, you've got them on your wall there. He said, yeah, but we're not selling them. We're just showing you we've got them. He said, that's the one shoe that's going to come out this year that we're not going to sell, because in a few months' time, that's going to be worth £2,000. So we wouldn't sell it now.
Yeah, I feel like, consignment shops, they have their ways of gauging stuff, and they're really pretty good at it. Some of the shops out here, I can tell when something is expected to skyrocket at some point is when they're constantly buying them. Like, they're saying, hey, we're buying any Travis Scott, any Off-White, just come in and they want to buy them all, and they'll give you resale price. And I even thought about that for myself. There are some sneakers that I don't really super care about, but it's weird to see when a sneaker hasn't dropped yet and they're for sale for like $500. It's like, should I buy this for $500? And then you don't buy it, and then the sneaker comes out, give it about 4 months, and now they're selling for $1,500.
Yeah, well, I think that's the same with this chunky donkey that's coming out, I suppose, is that people know how much money this is going to. People know this is going to be a very sought after and a very expensive shoe once it hits resale. So I think it just bulks the interest. There's so many more people. Yeah, sorry, that's what I was getting at before when I was saying with the staple. Like when I went for the panda pigeon, the people who went were people who wanted to wear that shoe. Now we're at the point, like now with the chunky donkey, where the people, we're having to kind of go against the resellers that have worked this out and realised there's a lot of money in this. So now everybody's jumping in for them.
I don't like them one bit. So any pairs I'm getting, I'm trying to get for friends.
I like how wild they are. I mean, sometimes my dress sense is a bit crazy sometimes, so I'm okay with that. I like that. If anything, it's a bit of a challenge to me, and I'll style that. So yeah, it's a bit of a challenge to me.
See, you know, dressing wise, you can get a little wild with. You know, the shoe to me, I think it's just too literal. Like, there are certain sneakers where I'm like, you know, even with some of the music sneakers that we're going to do, top 10 music, you know, sneakers inspired by music or musicians, that's what our top 10 is to me. I feel like some of them, you know, the theme was, you know, the actual music, you know, and I feel like it was either like not literal enough or too literal. And I'll talk about it when we do our list, but these ones are just way too much. It is way too many patterns for me.
I don't know. I kind of like that about them. It's kind of what I like about SBs, to be honest. I like them to go over the top with it. I wouldn't, if this was an Air Max 1, I probably wouldn't like it. I think it's the silhouette. Yeah, I think it's what I expect of an SB these days. I think I want them to be that little bit wild. I want it to be a bit wacky, a bit different. But yeah, I don't think. I mean,
you know what?
Like that. See, I mean, that Jordan that's coming out soon. That I can't think what he's called. Who's bringing that big multicolored Jordan out?
Oh, you talking about? Are you not talking about that J Balvin Jordan 1?
Yeah, him. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I don't like it on a Jordan. If you put that colorway on a Dunk, I'd probably like it. But on a Jordan, I'm just like, I don't know what's going on here.
You know what? That's a good comparison. So if this chunky donkey pattern scheme, whatever, was on an Air Max 1, it would be fine. If it's on a Jordan 1, absolutely not. Like, and I feel like that's what messed up Dunks the first or second wave, that it kind of faded away. Dunks had got way too out there. Like, they had went from, you know, when we first was really into them, they had some out there color schemes. There were a very few Dunks that was like hard to work with, you know, like Dino Juniors. I talk about that a lot, Mork and Mindy's. But then they had a lot of great collaborations, you know, Ty Temples and stuff like that, Slayers, you know, etc., Cigars, where you could work with them. Then Dunks, when it felt like once it got to, I don't know if you remember or know what I'm talking about, but like the Miami theme, Tampa Bay skate shop. Then they had like the Concord Dunk SBs. Once they started kind of reaching and the materials started getting a little weird, it fell off fast.
See, I kind of like that, though. Like these Grateful Dead ones that are coming at some point where they're dead furry and just, like, my initial thought is I'll laugh at it, and then I'll think, yeah, actually, I reckon I could wear them.
I love the swoosh on it. But the fur and all that, it's too much. Makes the shoe look round. Like, I will say this. Looking at the Grateful Bears, you know, a couple days ago, I was like, it's okay. It's not too bad. There are certain colors better than the other. I think, you know, my whole thing is that, like, it's so weird that when the SB Dunk wave was in, the regular Nike Dunk wasn't really that big, you know. People preferred SBs. Now, like yesterday was the first time I've tried on multiple sites to try to buy a sneaker. So the Brazil Dunk, I was on Kith, I was on Nice Kicks, I was on Sneakers app, I was on Premiere, I was on about 3-4 sites on my computer. I haven't done that, no joke, in about 5 years.
Did you manage to get them?
No, and that was the thing. Didn't even get them.
See, I don't think they were too hard to get hold of here. I mean, there was on raffles and stuff, but Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people that actually managed to get that. I don't think they tried too hard either. They literally just entered and got.
And see, I went on, then I was like, well, let me go on StockX Goat to see what they're going for. And they were like 263, and I can't pay 263 for them. I can't. I think I could have for plums, and I should have for plums. There are many times where I could have got plums for 250, which is really high for a dunk. But now I think they're around 320, 350, and I'm not paying that.
Well, I was actually offered them for retail, and I ended up turning it down because there was something else coming out at the time. I can't remember what it was, but whatever else it was that came out around the same time, I was more bothered about. And I do kind of regret it because whenever I see somebody post a picture or when I see them, I am like, oh, they're nice then. Yeah, so I do kind of regret.
I've done that a lot, where you turn down something. Like my friend was like, shout out to Josh. He asked me, he was like, man, I don't know why you turned down purple lobsters from me. And I was like, I'm sorry, I did what? And he was like, yeah, remember when I offered you purple lobsters for retail? And I was like, holy crap, you did. But I felt bad taking something like that from retail from a friend. You know, even though I would have wanted them and would have wore them, I think I would prefer them to sell them and make some money off of it if they don't like it.
Well, mine was from the store, one of the stores. I even turned down the Off-White Air Max 90. I turned that down as well.
Why?
Just wasn't feeling it. And I like Air Max 90s, but I don't know. Like, again, that's another one I look back at and I was just like, I don't know why I did that.
Now,
so my friends got it. I actually just literally turned it down.
Now for a sneaker like that, so let's go back then. So a sneaker that you don't like but know you could make some money off of, you wouldn't take it and sell it?
No, I'd much rather somebody who wanted it wear it. I'm like, I don't care about the resale money with stuff like that. It's not something I want. I have a job and I make money. I don't need to be. Of course, we all want more money, but no, it's just not. It's not for me. That it's not the way. It's not how I view the. I want somebody who wants that to have that and to wear that. I'm never once ever looking to make money.
And see, I would if it's something that I don't like and I can make money off of it and buy other sneakers that I want, I would do that. Now,
that's it. I mean, there are common sense parts of it. It's like if I didn't like the Strange Loves, it would have made sense for me to go in for them, sell them, and I could probably buy 4 pairs of something I do quite like. But I'll only enter for something that I want. I'll never, like the Chunky Dunkies, I know they're going to be worth money, but I actually want to wear them. I wouldn't have entered for them if I didn't want to wear them with the idea of reselling them. I wouldn't have done it. I'd have just left it alone.
I'm definitely interested to see if, like, for right now, I've still never seen a Travis Scott. Oh, actually, you know what? I have seen a Travis Scott dunk in person. It was at a sneaker event. Actually, you know what? Let me ask you about that. So, I know SneakerCon came to the UK or England for maybe like 2 years ago.
I think so, yeah.
I don't know if that was the first time. Did you go to that?
No, but we have our own. We have a few, but I suppose the big one in the UK is called Crepe City.
Oh, you know what? Let me ask you this too real quick. Sorry. What does crepe mean?
Crepe is like a shoe. It's just the same thing, a crepe. Like, it's pretty much every one of my uploads just says crepe check. It's just a shoe. It's just basically that's what I'm wearing.
You know what's funny is every time I would see your post crepe check, I thought it had to do with crepe, the sneaker cleaner.
No, it's no. And the same way, like, I've seen other people put it and they put crepe, they put CREPE, which is actually a pancake.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what are you doing? But no, it is literally just a crepe check. But so Crepe City is like, that's actually where I saw the Soul Seeker documentary. He was kind of showcasing it. He'd been wherever. They hold it all over the UK, so you might have it in London, Birmingham, Manchester, wherever else that they're going to have it. And after the Manchester event, he had it in like the back of a bar, I suppose, with a big screen that they'd put up for people to just kind of come, have a drink after it and just watch that, and then a Q&A afterwards. So that's where, even though obviously I already knew before that who Soul Seeker was, and I'm not too sure if I'd spoken to him before that or not, but yeah, it was a good experience to kind of go and have the day at Crepe City and kind of meet all my friends there and stuff, or people that I do speak to online that I hadn't met before, and for us all to kind of then just when that finished to go and watch this kind of documentary. So yeah, that's where I'd actually seen the Soul Seeker documentary from.
So do you go to any other events out there?
I do, but I also don't really care about them. They're just going to sell me Off-White. They're going to sell me Yeezys. They're going to sell me Supreme. They've all got the same thing. They're going to sell me the same thing, and I don't care. And I know everyone's going to be the same. I'm going to go to 17 tables with Off-White. I'm going to go to 15 tables with Yeezys, and every other table is going to try and sell me a bunch of Supreme stickers or a Supreme box logo, or even the ridiculous things that here's a Supreme can opener. You can have this for £70, and it's just stuff I don't care about. I'm just not interested.
Yeah,
So, and
you
also
know,
as well, without it sounding a bit, I probably already own what it is they're selling anyway. So I don't. When it comes to the sneakers, there's what I'd like them to do is to sell me the obscure, or the ones that got away, the sneakers that I'm still looking for that got away, but it's not. It's filled with just, here is the most hype things that I've released in the past 2 years.
and
I want to go there and find a rare gem that I've not been able to get hold of for a while.
living in this new norm that we are right now, it's funny. Me and my wife drove by Chipotle, and it has like it's been open during this certain amount of time, but now with our new rules of how to get our food and everything, we actually saw a large amount of people outside of Chipotle because they're only allowing so many people inside the restaurants. And that's when services like Postmates is something that's phenomenal to use. Even the restaurants and places that had drive-throughs, your fast food places that have drive-throughs, you're seeing longer drive-through lines, and things just right now are taking some getting to adjustment to. But one thing with Postmates, using it a few times during quarantine, it's been perfect to order right from my house. I get to pick the best time for it to get picked up for me, and it comes straight to my door. And with their new service of being able to leave it at the door for you, no contact delivery, it's been phenomenal, and it feels good to know that I'm getting something safe to my home for my family to eat. If you're like me, you probably start thinking about what to eat for dinner, and while you're eating lunch, I mean, you love food, and you want to be able to get it safely. You want to feel comfortable when you buy it. But I kind of love it even more right now. I can get food delivered without leaving my house, or even open the door. I don't have to open the door when the food gets delivered. Given what's going on in the world right now, Postmates, they created a non-contact deliveries. So now when I order from local restaurants, everything gets left right at my door. That is perfect right now. They also have Postmates Pickup, which I've been using to order takeout from my favorite local restaurants. You guys need to be supporting your neighborhood spots right now. I've only been ordering local because it's a great opportunity to support my community. Me and my wife, we have coffee shops and stuff out here that we love. We have a donut shop out here that we love, and using Postmates to make sure that they're still doing their best to stay afloat during these times has helped out tremendously. I want to make sure that I continue to support them like we would if it was just how it was before all this took place. Right now, people are, they're kind of struggling, but if you continue to use services like Postmates, we can keep them afloat, and hopefully when we get back to normal, they'll be able to service us like always. And Postmates doesn't just deliver burgers, sushi. They actually make my life easier by picking up everything I need from Walgreens and 7-Eleven to dropping it off outside my door. Just download Postmates on iOS or Android, find your favorites, and get anything you want delivered within an hour. That's the best part. You don't gotta wait long for it. It's right there within the hour, right at your door. For a limited time, Postmates is giving our listeners $100 of free delivery credit for your first 7 days. To start free deliveries, download the app and use the code TSD. That's code TSD for $100 of free delivery credit for your first 7 days when you download the Postmates app. Anything you need, anytime you need it, Postmate it. Like I said, it's an awesome opportunity to support your local restaurants, your local shops. Postmates will get it for you and get it to your door within an hour. You don't even have to see the Postmates delivery person. It will be dropped off right at your door and you'd be notified. So remember, use the code TSD for 100 free delivery credits. Well, it's funny that you say that because that was one of the things with sneaker events out here in the States. It's, I used sneaker events just for a reason to wear sneakers. We used to go to these with the mindset of like, ooh, I'm trying to find, like you said, one that got passed up. With the influx of a lot of hype sneakers, just like you said, every single table is trying to showcase how many off-whites they got, how many Travis Scotts they got. Like every table is the exact same essentially. It's not even a question. Supreme backpacks, Supreme t-shirts, it's just a lot of the exact same stuff, and it got away from the sneaker aspect of it. Even and what's crazy is like even the stuff that we've looked at as rare or hard to obtain or something that we missed, the prices that they're asking are just way too out there, and we've gotten to the point to where we've been able to like figure out, ways to get stuff cheaper at events, especially if like an event starts at, 10 a.m. here and goes till 8 o'clock at night. If you've been at a table and you haven't sold anything, you're gonna, by the end of the day, you want to sell something so you have one less sneaker to carry back all the way to your car and back home.
Yeah. And when you're asking for a ridiculous price anyway, what is the difference in dropping £100?
Yeah. Oh, and you know what also is crazy about these? I talked about this a while ago with I can't remember who it was, but with Skate the Great, we talked about. It was like that one point back, and I don't know how long sneaker events have been going on out there, but when sneaker events out here, it used to be people who would buy only their size, and it would be selling their own collection. So like, it would be like a bunch of tables. Like I wore a 9.5. It would be a bunch of tables that only had 9.5s, 9 through 10. You know what I mean? So it was like, yeah. I knew that. I go to tables now and they're selling, sizes 5 through 12, even a couple, size 18s, because they are resellers. They're grabbing any and every size they can get to sell.
Exactly the same here. Exactly that. But a lot of this stuff, I think there is massive similarities. I watch stuff like Round 2, or I've seen, that is a J2 Kicks, all the stuff they do. What's big there is big here. It's exactly the same. What people are going to Round 2 and wanting to buy is the same stuff people are wanting to buy here. It's all the same. I've never seen people kind of go in there and look for something where you think, yeah, as if that you're after that. It's always the hype stuff.
And see, being with just my, viewpoint of the sneaker culture just from being in the States, I remember, man, that's probably like 5-10 years ago, traveling just within our own country, I would think like, hey, let's go, like if we go to Atlanta, I'd be like, yo, let's go to the mall, see if there's like anything that people didn't like out here, or something that's sitting. If we, go to Paris, London, in my mind, I would feel like if I could walk into a sneaker store and find, something big sitting, you know what I mean?
That won't happen.
Yeah, what?
Like anything, that wouldn't happen.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you may find something you have had your eye on that's like, but there's not going to be, I don't know, anything that's hype will not sit. Right. People would buy it even to sell it. So even if they didn't want it, they would buy that and then try and sell it on. So you may be able to find like a rare gem of something you've been after, but yeah, there'll be no, like, you wouldn't walk in and I don't know, anything. There'd be very little that's hype sitting around. I think it depends what people class as hype, but what we all know as these are the top tier of what people class as hype trainers won't sit. You may find a Pharrell NMD.
Oh, okay. You can find those here. That's why I bought them, because they were so cheap.
That's about as high as like sitting on a shelf hype would get, I suppose.
Well, it's funny that you had mentioned 2J Kicks, because he was the guy I was talking about where, I mean, he was wearing 4D before anybody could get their hands on them. And back then it was like, yo, he is on 4D. And it's crazy because we had interviewed him. Was it the first time we interviewed him when we were at a sneaker event that was local out here? And it was funny because we were asking him about Nike SBs, and he had said, I'm gonna find the clip and like repost it on our Instagram, but he had said that they don't even carry Nike SB anymore. They won't even accept Nike SBs anymore to sell. Like, that's how crazy it shifted.
Yeah, whereas now he'll be buying up everything he can get hold of.
Every single one. Like, George has sent me a picture, like one of his Instagram posts that 2J's that posted, and in the background is like all these SB boxes now.
I saw him doing it, Travis Jordan ones, at whatever event it was he was at, and he was literally going around every table just trying to take as many Jordan ones, the Travs, that he could get hold of.
Yeah.
Whereas I own that. I'm not really into Jordans, but I have that. It's nothing special.
It's pretty nice.
It's all right. It's not. It didn't wow me.
So then I should.
In the airport, a much better one.
So then I should expect that not to be on your list.
Yeah, I'm not a big Jordan fan though. Anyway, 3 pairs of hundreds of pairs of trainers that I own. I own 3 pairs of Jordans.
Oh, okay. So then I should expect. So then, just thinking about your list, I should expect on your top 10 list to not have Travis and not have Yeezys.
I like Yeezys.
Okay.
But I think my actual favourite silhouette of a Yeezy, I think, isn't. I mean, a 500 is actually my favourite Yeezy silhouette, whereas a lot of other people just dislike it. I love that chunk. Like, that for me is Yeezy's best silhouette, I suppose, with Adidas.
Oh, so you like the Nike ones?
I can appreciate them. There's one pair, but I'm not going to say because I've got it on the list. There's one pair out of them. Yeah, I do wish I could have got hold of. But yeah, no, I'm the 500s for me, and I do have the different stuff. I have the 350s, V2s, 500s, 700s, 700 V3s. Like, you know, I've got a good mix of all of the Yeezys, but for me, the 500 is just the better shoe.
You have do sneaker heads out there, collectors out there, complain as much as U.S. sneakerheads?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's what I actually like about your podcast, is the way you and George, like, you have no fear of just something coming out and you going, no, trash that. And then you'll even both argue about it, about what you think one of you might fit, and you, nope, it's trash. Whereas you don't conform to the type of hype. You do like some hype, but if you don't like it, you'll be the first people to just call out and say, that's so trash.
Well, you know,
and I think that's
that, like, that has been one of the main things. I mean, that's the main staple of the podcast, is like saying exactly how we feel, because we really feel that way. But what it backfires is that it doesn't matter. Like, we talk about pickups, or like, even if rare occasion, take picture of my closet or sneakers, and all the sneakers that I have, a lot of people think we just hate everything. And I'm like, no. Like, a lot of people have an issue with, like, once they like it, and if somebody else doesn't like it, it genuinely hurts them. And it's like, no, I'm glad you like it. I'm telling you I don't. I'm not trying to convince you.
Well, I think regular viewers of your podcast would know that's not true. I think regular viewers will see almost, I suppose, the pattern of, like, what you guys are into or not into, or the certain bits I expect to know straight when it's going on.
Hey, you're breaking up.
Oh, sorry. No, I don't know. I think regular viewers don't really necessarily feel like that. I think it's just a very honest opinion of how you both feel about whatever the release be.
Yeah, well, I would tell you this. It's definitely good to hear that other people deal with the exact same struggles that we deal with over here.
Yeah. I have a group chat where we're constantly like that. In the group chat, somebody could post something and say, what do you think of this? 2 out of the group might say, I really, really like this. In fact, here's a perfect example. The Travis Scotts that are coming out soon, is it the 270s or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very split opinion in the group chat. Some people have said, I definitely really want to get hold of this. Other people have gone, that's the worst Trav I've ever seen. I don't want that.
You like it?
It's all right. I'm not overly keen. I'd have it for my collection. I'd wear it, but I'm not overly, like, if I didn't get it, I wouldn't care. It's nice.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
was
great.
sort of on the fence. The original first pictures and everything of it, I was kind of like, this can't be serious. It looked unfinished. Like, it looked like, I thought what I had originally saw was a sample, mock-up type whatever. Not that they were on Sneakers app right now, and they're really been this morning posting them everywhere on social media, like the clothes and stuff like that. I don't know. If I get them, that's a shoe where I like it. I'm a 50-50 on it. Now, this is where I would base this off of. If that shoe is selling for $2,000, I have to sell that. I don't like it enough to keep it.
If I got that shoe, I would wear it for work. I would just wear it every day. It wouldn't be something that I'd purposely think, no, I'll take a bit of care of this. I'd beat that shoe.
You know what the hard part about, you wear sneakers to work then?
Yeah.
Okay. That's one of the things that I've struggled with is that, majority of the time I'm wearing dress clothes and dress shoes, so I don't wear sneakers often. And then being married with kids and stuff, we go places here and there, but we don't go a ton of places. And I'm not usually wearing a lot of, quote unquote heat, when I'm chasing around a toddler or dealing with whatever. But I will say this, once whatever normal is, I'm undsing everything.
You didn't you undead stock a pair of the Trav Jordans not too long ago?
Yeah, I have sixes, and I unds'd them to the grocery store, and I have a lot of other ones that I need to unds, but it's just one of those things where I feel like I do want to be more present, on social media in my sneakers. I do like your IG page. It's the same pic all the time. Give a little sock, little pants, and it's good to go.
Well, everybody thinks I'm a shop. I get a lot of inboxes of people saying, how much are these? And I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, how much are they? How much do you want for? Oh, no, I'm not selling. It's just, but that happened, that was never intentional. That just happened accidentally. I stood one way and I took a picture of the way I stood and of the shoe. The next time I took one, it looked like that. It just got to the point where I think I'd probably done 3 or 4 that looked the same, to the point where that's when it started to happen. It just then became almost like a running theme where it just almost looks like the same picture, just different. It's the same stance, the same. But that was never the idea. The actual idea for me having an Instagram was more of, my idea behind it was a visual kind of catalogue of what I own. Instead of me having to stand at all my boxes and think, oh, what I wear, I could literally just have this little thing on my phone where I could just look at them all and go, I'll wear them. And which then turned into just this whole, now I just prep check pretty much every other day.
I was going to ask you too, I was going to mention too, at some point I started to think, you know what, he must work for a store or do something for a store out there, because it looks very marketing.
No, that was all. That's literally in my garden.
Oh, really? I thought it was in the front of the house.
No, it's my back garden. I've got paving in my back garden. It's literally just stood there.
I was going to ask you, for sneaker culture out there, is there anything that you feel could be better or improved upon, or is it still growing out there?
It's always growing. One thing that does annoy me a bit is the little fractions that get built around, but they're quite fake with it. I mean, there's a few, I don't want to name them, but there's a few here that have started to get a bit of a name in the UK. And they're not really they're literally in it for the likes, the popularity, or whatever comes along with being part of something. They're not into it where I'm a sneakerhead with or without the internet. Without the internet, I'm still buying them. I'm still wearing them. It's a massive part of my day. I think there's a lot in the UK without social media wouldn't care about sneakers. That's something that annoys me a bit.
Oh, that's 100%. I mean, that's not even without a question. I've talked about that in the past many times. I mean, the whole notion of if you don't take a picture or if there's no video, it didn't happen. That's 100% in the sneaker community. When we talked about last episode with Mike, we talked about like the selling of sneakers, and he talked about, you know, how people will claim to love sneakers and all that, but then they keep them DS and keep them because they're just waiting for them to go up in price to sell. That's 100% true. I think what I've noticed, in which I've never ever done it because I have a really hard time like committing to taking pictures of sneakers, but it's amazing how, and people are going to notice this a lot more now. Like people will, these chunky dunks, whatever, there are going to be people who win them and they can't wait to post that they got them and can't wait to post a picture of them, but have zero intentions of wearing them.
Oh yeah. I think that's a big thing as well. See, I wear the only sneakers I don't wear are what I've got doubles on. Like, I have doubles. I've got double black pigeons. I've got double panda pigeons. I've got a couple of 500s I've doubled up on. I've got the grey Fear of God Essential I've doubled up on. The only sneakers I don't wear are my doubles. I wear everything. I've got everything. I may save them for a bit better weather because we don't have the greatest weather here at points. So there may be something like when I originally got the Strange Loves, I knew I wasn't really going to wear them. I had them on for an afternoon while I was out and about, but I knew that they're going to get put away until the weather's better. But that's more the material. But knowing I was going to wear them, I will wear everything. I don't have dead stock pairs sitting about to see what goes on. I know people like that, but that's not me. I wear everything.
I like to hear that. You know, it's rare to find anybody who doesn't have dead stock pairs now in the community.
That's a big thing here as well. There's certain people here I know where, you know, they walk around all day in Vans or whatever it be, and I know what they've got in their collection. I know they've got the majority of the 10 that dropped. Never mind like the second wave of the Virgil. They've got maybe 8 or 9 out the original 10. Never wore one. In fact, I've seen a picture today put up for the Chunky Donkeys, and it was kind of saying, like, you know, just if you're into these, kind of show us a picture that would say that you're into them. So this person has posted 2 or 3 pairs of Dunks that they own. They're wearing the one pair that I do know they wear. The other 3 pairs, and some of them are a bit old, have all still got the laces attached to them. but they've tried to angle it a bit where it looks like, oh yeah, I'm just here with these sneakers that I wear. Like, you don't wear them. They are literally a commodity to be sold at some point.
You know, it's just one of those things that you gotta move on. I mean, it's growing extremely too fast. Reselling is growing at a rate like never before. I mean, people have even started venturing back to eBay. You know, I find it crazy. I'll admit, like, eBay is still one of those places. Is eBay big out there buying?
Huge.
Okay. Do you buy used pairs?
No.
Okay. eBay is one of those sites where, like, I used to do a lot of buying on, and I used to always give people tips on how to buy stuff that was like listed incorrectly and stuff. I always tell people, like, misspell, you know, one of the harder words in it. You know, if people will post like a Nike Travis Dunk and they might forget to put the S on the end of Travis, or, you know, whatever, and you could find that sitting somewhere and at a different price, you know, whatever the case may be. But yeah. I have noticed, and I've talked to a lot of friends lately, they have been on eBay a lot lately looking for stuff. And I think it's under the assumption that, well, if all the prices are this high on StockX and GOAT, the seller is different on eBay.
Yeah. The same with, I suppose, Facebook buy and sell pages.
Yeah. I've even
all different market prices.
Yeah, I've ventured back in some of those Asics and New Balance groups looking for certain pairs. Like, I really want Gel Light 5 Volcanoes. Like, I still want a pair of those. But I can't pay that $700, $800 that they're going for brand new. Even trying to find a pair that's in pretty good condition is hard. There's a used pair I seen that was so faded, the color is gone. Like, it looked like they washed it in bleach. Like, I don't know what happened to it.
Well, there's a pair I'm after that's been out for a while, and it's one of them where I always feel like, right, I'm gonna get this month. I'm gonna end up like looking for it. I'm gonna find it, and I'm gonna end up paying resale for it because I really want them. Then something else either comes up, or I just end up missing out on it, just not doing it, or I don't find my size. But it's not particularly like a hard sneaker to get hold of. I've seen it so many times, and that's the Asics Extra Butter Pretty Tonys.
Oh, okay.
Like, since they dropped, I don't actually remember them dropping in the UK. I remember all the promotions for it. Ghostface doing all like the promotions, showing like the cap that came with it and stuff. But then there was never, I think they only dropped in America or maybe in other places, but I don't ever remember them dropping in the UK. I could see pairs in the UK, but that's something I've just never, ever got hold of. But I think that's an amazing looking shoe.
So it's so funny you brought that up. Ryan Simple had sent me a text and was like, man, what were we thinking about these Ghostface Asics? Because when they first came out, I thought they were fire. But I looked at them the other day and I was like, ew. That cut of Asics, I thought it was cool at the time, but I think they require special weather. I live in Arizona. Those are way too boot-like to wear out here.
See, I get away with anything here like this. We probably predominantly have maybe 3 months of sun at best. The rest of the time it's raining. So you have to pick your day when you're going to wear something nice. You have to have already looked at the weather and thought, oh, it's nice on Tuesday, I'll wear these.
I was because, out here it's hot, sunny all the time. I love cloudy weather. Like, I love going to Washington, Oregon. That just makes me feel good, But rain is something that we don't have to battle a lot out here. I was going to say, too, like, when you had said, like, you have, like, friends and stuff who have a lot of stuff in their collection that they have, but they wear just Vans and Air Maxes every day. Do you have any thoughts on, like, collectors like that? And I mean, like, not collectors like that. Your collection is very, all over the place. Not all over the place, but what you like. I have, like, some people that, like, only wear Air Max 1s. You okay with that, or is that something that you've always kind of been against?
I don't necessarily, to be honest, I don't care what anyone else is doing. I see it, and I get it, and I know what you're doing. I just don't care. It's just people can do what they want, but I do know what they're doing. They can't. It's a commodity to them. It's sitting there as an investment. It's not. I don't view it like that. When my friends who are not into sneakers say something and they'll just go, "I've just seen they're worth this much money," and I'll go, "Right," and they go, "Why don't you sell them?" And it's their always natural go-to is to go, "Why don't you sell them?" I'm like, "Well, what would I do with the money? I'd just buy more." It's pointless. Like it's. But yeah. I do know people who are literally doing that. They are stocking these up knowing these are worth money. At some point, I will sell them.
You know what's crazy is that anytime I've sold something big to buy other things, I don't wear the other things. Like, I would sell, so I can't think of the last thing I've sold, but whatever Off-White UNC 1s. I sold those for like however much, a lot. And then I went and bought like 10 pairs of things that I like, but they hold no weight. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, wow, I went and bought like 3 of those Air Max 1s, they were on sale for $88. And then I went and bought this pair of, Jordan 1s from this one guy for like $200. Then I bought, and then it's like, I never wear them. And then it's like, man, I probably should have kept that UNC 1s. I just bought kind of a lot of junk for quantity.
Well, I do know somebody who is jumping in all the raffles for the Chunky Dunkies with the intention of hopefully winning, but then having the availability to be able to get hold of the Cactus Plant Flea Market Vapor Max. So they're literally doing it for, I just want to try and get hold of this shoe because I'll probably be able to sell it and get hold of the shoe I really want without having to spend silly money getting it.
I don't have a problem with that.
No, I get that. That makes sense to me, Mike. I'm not going to do it myself, but I understand it. Like, when I was told that, I was like, fair. Yeah. I'm not mad at you doing that. Like, it is one way. The other option is they can just go and spend £700-800 or whatever it is. Nobody wants to do that. So I do understand their angle with that completely.
Yeah, that was how I got OG off-white Prestos of the original 10. I sold the guy. I traded the guy Cos 4, Jordan 4 Cos Black, and I gave him like $350 on top of that, and that's how I got the OG Presto, and I wore that to the ground. Like, mine are beat.
I have a friend who actually sorted me out the Wotherspoon for retail. He had 2 pairs, and he'd got them when they dropped. I didn't get them. I was actually in work, and I missed out on them. And it's probably took me a year of moaning at him to just kind of be like, sort me out with that, this, that, and the other. And I never expected him to do it for what he did. And he got to a point where he just said to me, do you know what? I'll do it you for retail. He said, I don't need to. He'd not wore it. He was just, you can just have it for what I paid for it. Which I thought was, he could have sold that for silly money and gone off and done whatever it was he wanted to. And he didn't. He got to a point, he said, I know how much you really want it, and you've moaned at me for it for a year. So do you know what? It sits there in my collection. Do you know what? You may as well have it. At least I know you'll wear it.
That's a good friend, because I don't have any friend. Actually, you know what? I do. I have a friend like that now, who told us, whatever he gets, if we want it, he'd give it to us for retail. He doesn't care, And
this same friend also got 2 pairs of Travis Scott Jordan 1s and sorted my other friend a pair out of them for retail, because all of us got, but she didn't. So he gave her an extra pair and said, because he managed to get on sneakers as well. We'd all kind of got it from a store. And he won on sneakers as well, so he gave it to her and just said, just size swap. So we sold it to her for retail.
I have the goal to be like that more. Like, I have the goal, once this is up, to do that for people. I think it's a good karma thing, and I need to stop complaining about how many sneakers I have, because a lot of the sneakers I have, I'm not wearing them. Like, I have a lot of sneakers that are DS, and the reason that they're DS is just because I have too many of them. It's not.
I get that.
Yeah, it's just I just have too many, and I bought a pair of part of like the 13 pairs I've bought last few weeks. I bought a pair of shell toe Adidas. Now, they were a good price, like $35 shipped, which is a pretty good price for some shell toes. But I also got 3 or 4 other pairs of shell toes that I don't wear. But it was something about like, I'll grab these. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think
it's easy to do that.
Go ahead.
I think it's easy to do that. I bought a few pairs of, by what I was saying before, what I'd bought. There was also I bought some corduroy Converse that I just liked the look of, these lows. They had a bit of a Wotherspoon feel to them. I was like, I'll buy them because they weren't that expensive. I bought another pair of the Gel Light Freeze. I'm never even going to wear them. When they turned up, I literally bought them because the price was silly. When I saw it, and I was like, go on then. I got them, and I don't like the way they look. Instantly, I don't like the colouring of them. It's like a strawberry and vanilla. I think it was on this colourway thing. I just didn't like it straight off. I'm just buying things on sometimes I think I do that as well. On the whim of me just online looking, I'll go on, I'll have them.
Yeah,
but
all these some of these 13 pairs I bought based off the price, and I was like, this picture looks cool, and I'll buy them. I got them in hand, like, oh my god, these suck. I bought a bunch of Chuck Taylors that in the pictures, oh man, they look fire, and then I got them. I'm like, what the heck? Inside is lined with fur. Like, I can't wear these. They're just gonna go somewhere in the closet. And then I bought the LeBron 7 Christmas. I liked the shoe, but it was on sale for $106, and I was like, man, 200 to 106. I gotta buy that.
I'm hoping I can get hold of the them LeBron 7s. Is it Media Day? The Laker colorway.
You like those?
I do, yeah. I like because they're just different. For me, I don't really wear a basketball shoe, but that's one of the first. I like up tempos. I have a good few pairs of up tempos. That was probably about as into the basketball style of shoe I really get. But when I saw the Laker colorway, yeah, I was like, I like that one shoe's one color and one's the other. I was like, I could rock them.
I think they're cool, but I do not understand everyone's infinity for them. I think they're kind of.
They're not amazing, but if I can get hold of them, I'll get them. If not, I'm good. We're not getting them.
And see that, and that's the thing. Like, you know what? If I found a pair of Media Days for $106, I'm buying them.
Yeah, that's it. I'll pay retail.
Yeah, it's why I bought the Pharrell 4D. Like, I bought it because that sneaker's $400 retail, but I got it for like 70% off. So
sometimes that happens as well, though, doesn't it? I think we can be blinded by a sale instead of the fact of we're not really saving any money, even if we're 70% off. So even if it ends up being, I don't know, £110, I'm not actually saving the £300. I'm spending £110. It's the fact that they put the word sale there that makes me go, oh, hang on a minute.
Yeah, and that always gets me. I don't have anything else additional or nothing. I don't know if there's anything else you had or wanted to add or anything.
No, not that I can think of. I think we've kind of covered.
You know what I was gonna say? I've noticed a lot of UK or England podcasts or sneaker shows popping up.
I think they've been going for a while. I think it's just now starting to build. I mean, obviously, it's nothing on the scale of. I mean, I've watched your show for a long time. I've watched Monday Midsole. I've watched. Obviously, I've like followed the camp out for a good while. I like Tony My Voice. I like the stuff he does. I think KB. I follow her and stuff. So I'm quite aware of everything that's going on in America when it comes to the people with the podcasts, Talking Kicks, whoever I watch. I spend a lot of time watching these, even though they'll go on in the background. I'm listening to what's kind of being said while I do whatever it is I'm doing. But I think the UK ones have just started to. They've been going for a while. I think they're now just kind of gathering traction, I think.
Oh, okay. So they're very supported by UK collectors.
You what? Sorry.
The podcasts and stuff out there and shows are very supported by UK collectors.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still think the go-to though is an American one. There's not one in the UK I'm going to watch over your show. There's not one in the UK I'm going to watch over the Breakdown, because I'm so used to them and I've watched them for so long and I'm so invested in them that they're my go-to. So even though some in the UK can like, I mean, I'll watch it, but no, it's different. Like I'll watch them. I have much more interest in the ones I'm already invested in, and it doesn't matter that it's a different country. It's that the subject is still the same. My only difference is with not being so much into basketball shoes. I'm aware of them, but not really being so into them. That just doesn't really have any relevance to me. But there's always that common ground with stuff.
Huh. Well, I do appreciate you, always rocking with us, watching our show. Me and you've, talked a bit, on IG, as much as we can. And, I always appreciate anybody who supports and gives us any time out of their day. Everyone's busy and stuff, but no, I definitely appreciate that.
Oh, that's good.
You want to do our top 10?
Yeah.
Let's do our top 10 list. I'm going to go first, though, okay?
Right, yeah.
And I'm going to say all my 10. It says top 10 sneakers inspired or collabed musicians to us. All right.
Yeah.
So, I like I said, we did this list on episode 168, and it was me, Rico, and when Anna was on like a bunch of episodes when she was visiting from California. She was in town. Yeah. And I went through my list because I wanted to be closely similar to it, but then I had a couple that I added, but I definitely rearranged a lot of stuff. My number 10 was a little hard. They're at number 10 because I'm not wearing any Dunk Highs. Whether it's a SB Dunk High or if it's just a regular Nike Dunk High, I'm not. But I do have, it's like a couple slashes. I got the Wu-Tang Dunk High, I got the Slayer, and the MF Doom. I like all of them. Like, they're all great looking sneakers. They all look good. They're all like classic historical sneakers, especially in dunks, But right now, I'm slowly getting back into trying to wear a dunk low. I have no intentions of wearing a dunk high. Number 9, I got the Nike SB Dunk Gibson. Like the Gibson guitar case. I love those. I mean, those are one of the best dunks. I had spent a lot of time during like that dunk era trying to get those, but I could never find a pair where the brown wasn't like bruised or scraped up, because it was like that leather where you scratch your finger across it, it was marked forever. A lot of pairs had the pink fur inside was all messed up, and so but I'd still take a pair of those today if I could find a good pair, but it's hard like to find any good condition SBs nowadays. Number 8, I got the Yeezy 350 V2. Now, it's not, he's a musician, so I counted it. It's not music inspired, but I think easily we could probably say the Yeezy 350 V2 is a top 20 sneaker of all time. I think that
without a doubt, yeah.
Yeah, I think the impact of the 350 has been massive. Has it lost a lot of steam because of like the amount of pairs? It has, but it's still a sneaker that sells out no matter what. Everybody has had or has multiple pairs, and it's a quality sneaker. It's a really good design. I think it's one of those sneakers too, when we first saw the design, we were like, ew, but it grew on everybody fast.
Are you still not wearing 350s? I remember you saying when Kanye went a bit.
I'm not wearing.
I remember you saying a while ago that he wasn't going to do it.
I'm not wearing any Yeezys now because he's obviously a crazy person. But I did say that the end of November I'm gonna start back wearing them. So I'm debating on buying pairs now that I passed on that I really liked. So then when I start wearing them, I will, or just waiting until that date, because there's a pair that's coming out soon where it's like black with like a gum looking bottom. I don't know what the name of that one is. That one is fire.
Yeah, it is a very clean looking shoe.
So I might be buying that one. Number 7, I got Kobe 5 Miles Davis. This isn't like one a lot of people remember, but it was a Kobe 5 and it was all blue. And it was after jazz musician Miles Davis. I had it way higher. I think it might have been my number 1 when I did this list back long ago earlier. There was one episode. It was my number 1. But a Kobe sneaker, I love the 4 and 5 of a Kobe. The 4, 5, and 8. But a Kobe sneaker isn't something that I would wear that often. If this came out again, I would. I don't think they probably will have plans on releasing this Miles Davis colorway again. I do wish the sneaker did have, I feel like a sneaker, a basketball player sneaker that's like inspired by music should have like something on it to like really, signify it. Like a saxophone, guitar, trumpet, something to where, you kind of know what it is,
We have the same with soccer players, I suppose, like when Beckham has done a sneaker or when Ronaldo's done a sneaker, there's nothing necessarily on it to say, oh, that's Ronaldo. Like, you wouldn't look at it without knowing and go, that's Ronaldo.
Yeah, like, I like that, which I think it was a really good collaboration. It's just not my thing. The Kyrie SpongeBob sneakers.
Yeah.
Not my thing, but when you see that, you know exactly what it is.
Yeah. I did see people wearing that with one on each foot, and I did quite like it, though.
Oh, I've never seen... Actually, the only person I saw that was John Morant on the Grizzlies. That was it.
I saw somebody with their SpongeBob on one, and is he called Patrick on the other? Yeah. And I did quite like that. I was like, that's a bit wild. I'm okay with that.
See, in order for something like that, it has to come like that. I could never do that.
It's not something I would necessarily think of to do. I would never, I wouldn't myself decide, I'm going to wear a white 350 and a black 350. It's not something I do. It just seemed to work with that, though. When I saw it on foot, I was a bit, that's pretty good.
Number 6, I do have the Travis Scott Jordan 1 Low. When I finally saw one in person, I was really impressed by the materials and quality of it. I think it's a really nice shoe. My only issue with it is that, and maybe I haven't read up on it or I've just kind of been oblivious to it, but it doesn't have any Houston or music ties when I look at it. Like, with the Jordan 4 Travis Scott, it was Oilers colors, the classic Houston Oilers team, Texas, he's from Houston. This one, I didn't know, like, why is the swoosh reversed or why is it brown or why, you know what I mean? I like that. Yeah. Like, even if it ties into his music, ties into the city, I just kind of like that. So I wish it did have something like that on it. Number 5, I have the Pharrell NMD Human Race, the original colorways, the yellow, green, blue, red, yellow, black. I love that shoe. Issue with it, it didn't age well, I don't think. I find it amazing how many other models and colorways like that have come out, and they didn't do price wise or selling wise like those did. You know,
We still have that luminous the Vault color that came out. I think towards the end of last year.
oh yes, yeah, I forgot about that pack.
That Vault color, the white pair, like the creamy white pair, and the black with a gum sole, they still sit on shop. Like that's when we were speaking before. I could still get them now. The rest of them never was like that. For some reason, that one pack, they're still easy to get hold of. I can literally go online now at our retailers and find a pair.
And that's crazy because a black with a gum bottom, a Vault colorway, cream, those are like prime sneaker colors.
Yeah.
And it's something about the shoe just didn't age well. Even when they came out with like the Holly pack, they kept restocking and they were nice, but for some reason they didn't make anybody move like the solid colors. And then they had the human race one with the heart. People bought it, it sold out, but people didn't have the infinity to like they did the original ones.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Number 4, I got the Pusha T Bodega Babies. You know, they had the brown with the brown paper bags and then the silver ones. I love those. I think those are very underrated with the scales on them. They're a little difficult to wear sometimes. I think they make my feet look wide, but that's...
See, they're on sale here. They're still, to this day, you can get hold of them on sale. I can pick them up for about £49.
Yeah, which is crazy. Like, I bought those 2-3 years ago on sale. And the fact that they're still pushing them on sale, I'm like, man, I thought they would have sold out then, but they still have.
Yeah.
Number three, I have Diodora N9000 Packer collaboration purple tapes. Love it. I love when it came with the purple tape. I love the purple of that Diodora. That's one of the Diodora models that I really, really like. I think they've done it well. When you see it, you think of purple. It's purple tape. Like, I like the literalness of that one. It's not too much. It's subtle. I think that one's dope. Number 2, I didn't have this on my original list when we did this a long time ago, but I got the Yeezy 2 at number 2. Nike Yeezy 2. You know, it's something that I just couldn't see myself wearing now. Would I buy it and wear it now? I would, but it's really not in my style right now. I don't think it was in my style when it originally came out. I had platinums. I just didn't care for it. But you have to like really respect the historical sense of that sneaker. I'm talking, man, you can't even make an all red sneaker without someone referring to it as Red October or Yeezy or anything like that. Yeah. So I have that one as number 2. That's more of like impact thing on the culture. Not one of my super huge favorites. And number 1, and this was my number 2 last time I did this list, but it should have been my number 1, and that's the De La Soul Dunk, low or high. I have the low because I prefer the lows, but materials wise and the use of patterns and materials on that sneaker is so underrated and flawless. Like, that sneaker, you want to talk about like quality. Like, every aspect of that sneaker is like thick, it's plush, it's smooth, it's like,
you know, funny enough, I'm actually wearing that right now.
Oh, really? Love that one. Like, I can't wait to put that on and get out the house and go do something. Like, I've worn it a few times, but no, that sneaker is so underrated. Well, maybe it's not underrated. I feel like it's underrated. I feel like it's becoming more underrated the more of these specialty dunks that are coming out that people are loving. A lot of the classic ones are kind of getting pushed to the back burner.
I've seen the price of that's gone up. I mean, I've seen the hype for that shoe actually come back quite a lot. It was there when it first originally dropped. Then it was very easy to get hold of at quite a low price, and I think it started to creep back up again.
Yeah, they were at outlets out here. Like, I mean, full size runs. Like, they were spilling off the shelves. They were at the outlets.
Yeah.
So that's my 10. So what you got, Andy?
Well, mine have probably gone from like with musicians, you know, instead of it being kind of music influenced, like you were saying with the Gibson one. I haven't really done that. Mine's like kind of with music artists. I also have a few that, like, not in my top 10 that I thought were pretty good, like the Golf LaFleur Gianos, the Tyler the Creator ones.
Oh, I love those.
I bought them recently. It's a fantastic shoe, styled off a kind of like a hiking boot, but done in a sneaker form, and it's a really nice shoe. Also, like the Currency Reebok Club C, I thought that was a really nice shoe, but that isn't in my top 10. The Shaq West Blazers, I thought they were really smart. I really like the colour of them, the way that they'd done, like reversed how they were both black, but it had one colour on one lace and the back of the tab on the heel and opposite on the other. And the YG Reebok Classic, I really like that as well, the red one with the fuck you writ on the tongue. I thought that they're pretty nice. But so yeah, they didn't get my top 10, but my top 10 is, so at 10 I've got the Run DMC Superstar, just because of how iconic that was, like, and yeah.
I know I had it on my original list and I felt bad taking that out.
It's yeah, that's, I don't know, I really like it. For me it is what it is, because Run DMC are the Adidas Superstar to me. That is them. I see them with that. So for me, that's that one collab that made so much sense for them to have that shoe, more than 100%. I suppose a lot of other artists. That made so much sense. At 9, I've got the Reebok Kendrick Lamar Deconstructed Classic. I mean, it was between that or the do you know the green pair that he brought out?
Yeah.
Where it was meant to be like the Crips and the Bloods want it. So one insole was blue, one insole was red, and it had red and blue on the back of each one. And I read the idea that.
I appreciate that being on your list, because that's what got you into sneakers, Reebok Classics.
Yeah. Well, I liked that the idea was if you were to mix the two gangs together, I suppose, the two colours together, what you would get is that green, but you wouldn't, you'd get purple, but their idea behind it was that. So I did quite like that. At number 8, I've got the De La Soul Dunks at number 8. Maybe I underappreciate them a little bit. I'm just so used to having them. Even though beautiful shoe though. At 7, I've got the Adidas Pharrell NMDs. But yeah, the original pack.
Yeah.
At 6, I've got the Skepta London to Marrakesh 97s.
I feel like those are kind of underappreciated as well.
Yeah, I think it's Skeppy's done a few collabs now, but I think that's the best one that he's done. Like, that's the original one that he did for me. That was the better one out of all of them.
Yeah, I like those a lot. I kind of like the what was it, a BW he did?
The which one, sorry?
I think he did a BW, right?
I'm not too sure.
It was like one. He did. It was like they were white, but like red swoosh.
Oh yeah, with them, yes, one red, one blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. At 5, I put the Travis Scott Jordan 4. I've put that because I can, even though I can appreciate how nice that shoe is. My friend owns a pair of them, and I see him in him quite a lot, and it's a gorgeous shoe. Even though I'm not really into Jordans, I can appreciate how nice that is as a shoe. And for me, I only wanted to kind of put one by one person. I could have just filled it with loads of his, but I would have chose that or the Air Force One. And I think the Jordan 4 is probably just a better shoe. So I put them at 5. At number 4, I've got the A6 Extra Butter Pretty Tonys. It's something I really get hold of. A defo what I get from. I think I hold them so high up because of how much I want to kind of get hold of a pair. So it's that one I've always been after but not got. At 4, I've got Dizzy Rascal Tongue-in-Cheek Air Max 90s.
You know what's funny is when I think on that episode that we did, Rico had that one, and I didn't know anything about them. Like I just don't remember them, but those are nice.
Yeah, I think it's a touch of genius to have had the tongue done like a tongue, to have done it in the tongue colour, I think, and that kind of wasn't really meant to happen, I think, in the design. It just kind of come along as they were doing it. So I think to have just done that in the tongue colourway was pretty smart. And I think it's the Air Max 90 is a very iconic shoe in the UK anyway. That's a very London shoe. So for Dizzy, as a London grime artist, to do it on an Air Max 90 just was the right thing to do, I suppose. At number 3, I've got the Wu-Tang Dunks.
Okay.
At number 2, I've got the MF Doom Dunks. That's another shoe. I've come to terms with. I'm probably not going to get hold of that because of the resale price on it. That's another one I wanted to get, but being realistic, that's not one I'm going to. I will get the Pretty Tonys at some point, but I know that it's very, very, very unlikely I'm going to get hold of the Doom Dunks.
Yeah, the Dooms. I used to didn't like the Dooms at all. Even when we were like really heavy in the SBs, I never cared for them. I don't know what it was about them. I just was like, they're okay. I've grown to appreciate them a lot more over the years. I've seen them in person only a few times back in the day. Like, I can't even remember them, but they're really nice, and I love those now. If they retro those, I definitely try to get a pair.
A girl I know was offered one for not expensive at all, and she turned it down. It's dead stock, and she turned it down in her size. Man, she put it on her Instagram.
I'll be turning down stuff out there.
And at number one, I've got, because I could have filled it really with a lot of Yeezys, but at number one, I've got the Red Octobers. And I think the same reason you'd put it in there, I think it's the significance of the shoe, I think, is the reason why I think for a music artist, I think I would have to put the Red Octobers there. Yeah, it could have been a lot of Kanye's, because I think the difference of the designers is, bar Jerry Lorenzo, I think a lot of the people, like Travis Scott, hasn't got his own shoe. He hasn't made a shoe. We all know an Air Force One or a Jordan or whatever it is. Whereas I think Kanye came with something new. It still does to this day, like his collaborations. It's new silhouettes that we just haven't seen before.
Yeah, that's why like there are certain collaborations like I appreciate a lot more than others. You know, I will say with a Travis Scott, he has at least been able to like really put a twist on some of his sneakers.
Yeah, and the same with Virgil, but then it's not new silhouettes, is it? I know he's bringing one out soon, but
yeah, so that's kind of it's like, and it's one of those where I think I always wanted to know how that works. You know, like Jerry Lorenzo, he came out with a brand new, model, that Fear of God one, and I didn't know. I always kind of wondered, did like Travis not have that option, or decided not to, or Virgil?
Well, I actually watched something about that. I watched Jerry Lorenzo speaking about that, and he said he respected Nike that much that he would have turned it down if he couldn't have done his own silhouette. He said he didn't feel he would do them justice. And Nike's issue apparently was they feel that people are not wearing what was made, which to me, I think they are. Like, people are not wearing, like, say, a Jordan 1 or not a Jordan 1, sorry, they are a Jordan 1, but other Jordan models to be used on basketball courts and stuff. They're starting to more use them or they're not using them as lifestyle so much, sorry. They're using them just on the court, which they're made to do. But like a Jordan 1, which people wear as a daily casual lifestyle shoe, it doesn't happen with the other colours, the other models and stuff. And he'd apparently said to them, he feels it's the shape. So he wanted to create his own shape of, like, he feels the reason people are not wearing it as a lifestyle shoe was the shaping. So that's where he was given that. I also feel maybe they learnt a mistake a little bit with Kanye, because I think they lost out a lot when they lost Kanye. If we're to look at from him signing to Adidas to what he's done now. Because when you were saying earlier, and this is true, like, a lot of people see just Adidas as Yeezy. If we really think about it, what have Adidas got? What did they get right without Kanye? It's very little compared to Nike. They don't have the silhouettes like Nike do. Nike can literally bring us back anything. They can decide, here's an Air Max 1. They can retro an Air Max 97. They can do. Adidas don't have the silhouettes. Even though they've been around for so long, they don't have the silhouettes to compete with a brand like Nike when it comes to this. They're going to bring out a Stan Smith in a new colorway. Nobody cares.
Yeah,
you retro 90 or something and collab it with Atmos or whoever, people will lose their minds for it. Nobody really cares when Pharrell collaborates on a Stan Smith.
Yeah, like it's amazing, like, the Adidas, like, they really found a stride when they started coming up with new models, and then they just couldn't advance the new models. And then right now they've been kind of bringing back a lot of their classic stuff and retroing it and trying, but it has no effect. And I don't care what Pharrell does or anybody does on a Stan Smith. A Stan Smith belongs just all white with the hint of green. Like,
yeah,
I don't care.
Well, that's Adidas' biggest selling shoe of all time, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think they've even. I mean, I bought a few pair of Stan Smith with the boost on it. It
Yeah, me
can't
too.
feel the boost. It doesn't really do anything. But it's like, man, I'm gonna buy a shell toe Adidas. Like, well, the shell toe, you can do something a little bit of variations, but that's where their classic bread and butter is. They did the Continentals. I like the Continentals a lot, and I have a bunch of pair of those. I love that sneaker. I think it's an everyday sneaker, good leather. I love it.
Hmm.
But the thing with Adidas is that, like you said, the direction with stuff. When they came out with the 1.0 Ultra Boost, it was like, ooh, like, okay, they're on to something. And then they messed it up. Like the 2.0 wasn't good, and then they all started running together. They started looking really similar.
Yeah.
But
Whereas when you look at it with Nike, it's completely different. Into the ideas behind each different Air Max that they brought out was completely different. It was, and I just think, I feel, even though a lot of people are very heavy Yeezy for Adidas, I don't feel Adidas really do themselves any favors without Kanye.
no, they don't, and that's where they have to keep him happy. That's why pairs of those are flying out, and I appreciate it. Like, I appreciate the opportunity for people to be able to buy something that does make them feel, a little bit special with collecting sneakers. But it is what it is. I appreciate you coming on the show.
I appreciate being on it. It's nice after so long of kind of watching the show.
Yeah, no, like I'm glad you got to come on, talk about sneaker culture out there, and got to hear a little bit of a different perspective. Even though the perspective seems to be pretty similar to out here, we all deal with the exact same struggles. But
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
it was good to hear that.
yeah. It's I think a lot of it is very, very similar. It's I can watch your show or other shows and get it. It's not. It doesn't feel foreign to me. These are the things we go through as well. This is how it is for us.
Yeah, I appreciate that. All right, Andy, I'm gonna let you go, man.
Right. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Of course, man. Thank you. I'll talk to you later.
Right. See you later. Bye.
All right, later. Appreciate that conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Give a little bit of different perspective, overseas, what the culture is like that over there in perspective. Even though it sounds really similar to ours over here, I think we all battle the exact same thing. We all like the hype. Hype rules everything. Resell is running everything. And the constant battle with even trying to have the opportunity to give a company your money. I appreciate Andy coming on. That's the Sneak This. Pow, 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 pow.